I'm saying if I was gonna get a house built, if I was
They
gonna get
gotta
a
have.
house built in the U.S., I would go to a state with no like the lowest taxes possible, and then I would get something custom built there, because buying the land, I wouldn't want to pay a lot of taxes on the land
Mm.
because it'd take away from me on the overall building of the house. But we all different. Like everybody look at it different. Everybody look at it
Well,
different with the way they would
well,
spend the
if you
money.
have,
So
Yo,
there's no
y'all.
real wrong. There's no wrong way. There's no wrong way to
Let's
do
just
it.
bust on
It's
it.
just
Yeah,
everybody just different.
yeah, yeah. In the days of old, 5 elements were known: MCing, DJing, graffiti had grown, B-boy and knowledge, the pillars of the game, but a sixth emerged, adding to the flame. Comics and hip-hop, a fusion so tight, visual storytelling, lyrics that ignite, from the pages to the beats, a seamless blend, the sixth element, where two worlds transcend. Welcome to the Sixth Element Show, where comics and hip-hop flow. Reno and Stu guiding the way, bringing you the culture every day. Welcome to the Sixth Element Show, where comics and hip hop flow. Reno and Stu.
Welcome, y'all, to the Sixth Element Collectibles Show. We here with the psychology of collecting part dos. We had a great show. First of all, welcome Stu Dog and Raw Talk to the building. What's good, bro?
yo, what's happening?
Peace, peace.
Peace.
What up? What up?
Lighting
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. Salute to the chat. Slade, peace. Yo. My bad. Well, we was in the back. We was backstage chopping it up, man, busting it up, talking about, you know, our future mansion purchases and all that, you know, because that's important information. EGC, salute. What's good? Yeah, man. It's gonna be a long show tonight. We got several people that may be popping in throughout the night. I even got somebody very important, hoping that they're able to make it about 10 o'clock tonight. So if we're still pumping, hopefully, you know, stay tuned, man. It's going to be a good one. We're getting deep on the tariffs, deep on the toys. The toys, man, and the toy tariffs and China and all that good stuff. But before we get into all that, because like I said, man, we gotta stretch it. We got a long show ahead. We got lots of people. But there's so much to talk about, man. There's so much,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying, going on. CinemaCon just happened. And that's crazy. We just saw the DCU. We just saw some new Superman footage that, in my opinion, tells us a whole lot about how this movie is going to be. We definitely will get into that. Todd McFarlane already jacking prices up. But yeah, man, it's Spider-Man brand new day teases. We talk Iron Fist actor Finn Jones. He's like, give me a fucking chance. Literally, he said that verbatim. Channing Tatum coming in with the Gambit movie, talking about he's still getting ready to make that. That's happening. But what's crazy is apparently he might not be playing Gambit in Avengers Doomsday. Stay with me now. We got what else? Bradley Cooper playing Jor-El in Superman. We're gonna talk about that. Some Andor, and I don't want to get super political tonight, but we just might. We might have to, because the subject matter, you know what I mean. It is what it is. We're not gonna get, but we're gonna talk about things. But yeah, man.
Okay.
You know.
We can talk about it without getting political.
Yeah.
I already know how to throw I already know how to throw the politics out of it. Keeping it a puck.
Mhm.
I mean,
I know how to throw the
But if
politics
it get,
out of it.
I mean, we will.
all comic books are politically based anyway.
Right, and tariffs, like tariffs by nature, and I mean, obviously, we know Dr. Trump is the one that set it up and made it happen. So
Right.
we got to mention his name. You know, it ain't nothing. It ain't like we getting,
Yeah, we
you
have
know,
to. Ain't nothing.
type of
Yeah, ain't
way.
nothing crazy. Yeah. Ain't nothing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
but
get you
But
on that when the
at
time.
the end of at the end of the day, you know, to kick it off, y'all gotta realize one thing. You know, we live in a democracy, and that's what America voted for. And whatever they voted for is what you get. So, you know, now that we got it, we got to talk about it. So we all voted for it. He won.
made the
Whatever.
bed, got to lay
You
in
know,
it.
conspiracy. Right.
Wait,
Yeah, conspiracy theories aside and all that other trash. You can throw all that out the window. That is the president of the United States, and this is what he did. So once he put in tariffs, tariffs only hurt the consumer. So I'm a consumer.
We're gonna talk
Reno's a
about the
consumer.
pluses and
We're all
the
talks of
pros and the
consumer.
cons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the crimes,
because
right?
it's
And
pros.
we're all consumers. Now, what he wants to do is he's saying that, and this is what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to bring, uh, okay. So take Tom McFarlane.
Well, we
A
ain't gonna
lot of
roll
his
into it
toys,
yet.
Yeah, let's roll into it when
Okay, okay, all right.
we can break it
Yeah.
down. But we do live
What
in
do
All
you,
right,
what
well,
a democratic.
what
a
you
lot
gonna
of a
say,
lot
bro?
of his good.
Yeah,
Raw talk. What you saying?
I say we do live in a republic with a democratic system. We're
Mm-hmm.
not in a democratic.
Okay,
We don't live in a democratic country. We live in a republic country with a democratic system.
Mm,
That's
okay, yeah,
mm. And
what
right now,
okay, and
Congress and democracy is not enough really to stop
to
Dr.
stop
Trump
tariffs.
from the
It's not.
tariffs.
It's
Yeah.
not. Yeah, not. Right. And it's not even just him. It's his Republican constituents. They're just going along with it. And you got to realize something. Rich people are not going to let you take their money away. You know, the Democrats are saying that they should pay more taxes. Republicans say we're not. Rich people say we don't want to. Poor people say you should. All that's out the window now because now everybody has to pay, and that's what happens when nobody can agree on anything. So
well,
now McFarland says in the article that we read, McFarland
Hold on,
says, "Look,
bro. Hold on, bro.
I'm
Hold
gonna
on,
have to raise the. I'm gonna have
bro.
to raise the
Hey,
price
bro,
of the."
bro, bro,
Oh,
bro,
go ahead.
bro, bro. You getting ahead of the game. You getting way ahead of the game.
Oh, okay.
We
All
waiting
right, all
for.
right.
We got more guests to come in. I wanna. We want to talk about some more lighter fare until we get deep into that.
we'll
All
do
right, we'll kick it to
it.
something lighter. Then we'll
Because
kick
I
it to the
will
lighter
drop
fare.
this. We'll drop the bomb when it's time to let y'all know it's gonna be all right. Trust me. I know
Well,
something.
of course it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Well, the Nintendo Switch has been delayed.
Oh
The
no.
pre-order's been delayed from
Oh
the
God.
9th to whatever now. You know what I mean? It's all because of tariffs. So,
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry
Mm-hmm.
about it.
you know,
Trust.
But it's gonna be. But yeah, we got some. It's not all bad news. It's not all bad news.
Be bad.
nah,
But we got.
in my opinion, fellas, it's not bad news at all. It's just it's always it's like how are we going to live with it now?
Well,
Like that's
yeah.
how I look at it. Yeah, how are
I
we going to
mean,
live with it? Because I'm
yeah.
going to buy my collectibles. I'm going to keep it a buck.
I'm gonna still buy them. I'm gonna still
Right, I'm
buy
going to
them, whether
buy.
they 10,
Right.
15, 20% increase. I still gotta buy them, but that's what we're gonna get into, man. But before we do get deep into that, man, I
Trust
want
me.
to talk
Everybody
about.
will be able to
Huh?
afford what they want. Trust.
Yeah,
Watch.
you already know.
When we
You
get
already
to
know.
that, I'll drop the bomb.
Mm-hmm. But while we waiting on our guests and folks to hop in, man, I do want to discuss CinemaCon because they have released some new footage. We got to see the DCU Superman footage. What we haven't seen yet is the Fantastic Four trailer, which
They
actually
got a new
shows,
trailer.
yeah,
They
it
got a
shows
new trailer.
footage
Oh man,
shows footage of Silver Surfer.
what? Oh yeah, they
Uh,
did.
yeah,
I
it
wanted
shows
to
those.
watch that the other day.
We
It came
can't
on
watch
my
it yet.
Google feed. I didn't
We
see
can't
it
watch
yet.
it yet. It ain't on there yet. It
It
ain't on the
ain't.
internet really yet. Nah, they showed it
What?
at
No, they.
CinemaCon. Ain't nobody
Well,
really leaked it online yet.
there's still pictures that I seen that I wanted to watch. I didn't watch it though.
Yeah,
Of they're
some
going
still
forward to
time.
this female Silver Surfer thing,
Oh, it's
bro.
already
Like,
done. Yeah, no, no,
yeah,
and she looks good. I mean, I'm not
yeah.
the
But
whole
you
thing.
listen, y'all.
Another
You
universe.
guys know more about Silver Surfer than me. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the deal with the females? Is it like what is the deal with that? Like, is that a thing? Was it really a
Well,
female
yeah,
Silver
yeah.
Surfer?
He was
Well,
thinking
yeah, you know that
in the it was just
Earth
another
X.
universe, the Universe X.
Yeah,
And
Earth X universe. Yeah, yeah, they
yeah,
did.
you
And it
know,
wasn't. It
I
wasn't like the Silver Surfer's a female. It was like Norrin Rad asked the Galactus, could his wife come with him? And then so they became like twin Silver Surfers.
yeah.
Like Gemini's like connected like twin Silver Surfer. So there was a female Silver Surfer at that time, but Norrin Rad was still there at her side, that whole thing. So it's like they're plucking that character out and just making their own thing with it. And with
Mm,
Which they
which
could,
is
and which
mm.
would be interesting.
fine. Yeah, I'm interested. I do at this point want to see it. I'm
Yeah,
not
I
I'm
want
not
to see
hating on it. Yeah, because the more and more I hear about this Fantastic Four movie, the more I know it's a very different. The only issue I would have with a female Silver Surfer is if they're trying to pass it off as this is the Silver Surfer for the 616 universe. That's a little bit I can't really rock with that, but we're in this whole other universe where it's this, shit looks different. It's this postmodernistic future 60s type, vibe, like everything. It's just a whole different universe. And Galactus is there. And we think that Galactus is probably going to fuck that universe up to the point where the Fantastic Four have to come to the 616, the MCU universe. But yeah,
Mm.
the female Silver Surfer existing in that universe, that made up MCU made up universe,
Mm-hmm.
how can we hate? How can we have a There ain't no problem with that. I mean, it's creative. Do what you want to do. It's not, as long as you ain't trying to tell me that, this is the Silver Surfer of the 616, because we all know that's Norrin Rad. And that's where I was like, that's when it gets like, what is that? You making up, you just not, it's not that you're making up shit, it's that you're eliminating characters that people have waited, sometimes their lifetime to see in live action, and you're wiping them off the board like that. Yeah, we kind of have seen him in live action before, but that movie didn't count, man. Come on. We still waiting for that shit to be perfected, man.
You gotta know though, man. Like we stated in past shows, man, they can do what they want. This is their own
Yeah.
comic book. This is their own universe comic book. Even though they say the 616 is the MCU, the MCU's version of the
It isn't.
616.
Right.
That's
Right.
just their own little thing. So we got to look at it like that. We can't even really. We can look at our comic books as that's their outline, but it's not the meat and potatoes that they're going with. They're making their own recipe, and the outlines are just there. Okay, we know the Fantastic Four's powers. That's there in place. It'd be fucked up if Ben Grimm had Johnny Storm's powers, then they called him Ben Grimm. That would have been
Right.
crazy. But they can't do that because they know that nobody will fill the box office seats. So they just use the bare minimum, but add their own recipe, and that's what they've been doing, which is it's cool. Hey, long as it's entertainment, because that's what it is. It's entertaining, and it has a vaguely loose story based upon what we know. Then hey, we gotta let it rock that way. We're not gonna get what we truly want because there's a lot of other mechanisms that we don't know about, which they can use and can't use, and so I believe. I mean, we let it
Yeah.
rock. Just if it totally shits the bed, then it shits the bed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's inevitable if it does happen to go that way. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. We had that's all we have to do. Wait and see.
And the new footage, at CinemaCon is a really, it's a bombshell in that this is, it's something that I think we all kind of knew and expected, but this is like confirmation that one of my favorite characters, probably maybe even my favorite character, I don't know, Franklin Richards, is definitely in there. My favorite, reality warping mutant phenomenon that's actually become Galactus himself, beat Galactus himself. I mean, this dude is just, there's no one else. The rumor is that he's so powerful that he's the reason why Marvel characters are just still pretty much the same age since the 1960s. Like he said it as a kid, like, I don't want these characters to grow up, and that's why they stay the same age. Of course, it's a tongue-in-cheek rumor, but that's how powerful this character is. And Slade said, we know that Disney wants the whole MCU to be female because they keep pushing the female characters to the front. Well, I mean, not the whole MCU, but yeah, they do want to have more female characters. And to be honest, female characters are largely missing from comic book fare. And they're not missing from the comics, though. You know what I mean? Female characters are all in and out throughout the comics. They just have always been missing from Hollywood. And I think there's a little bit of overcorrection going on, but it's still a necessary correction that, I think will find its place. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
And it's again with the writing.
Right.
I mean, if they had
That's
that
the real
female
problem.
character with the perfect writing, not the perfect, but great writing, then there's no problem. But when they
Right.
have them doing dumb shit and stuff that's really unbecoming of a hero or a woman, for that matter, then you're gonna have that issue where why did you do this in the first place?
Yeah. Yeah. And the rumor that Franklin Richards was going to be in it, I mean, his mother, Sue Storm, is pregnant, right? So we know the movie is called First Steps. Who takes their first steps? Babies. Sue Storm is pregnant in the trailer. We see that she's pregnant in the trailer. So that's the big bombshell. Sue Storm is pregnant. You may have guessed it. I don't know, but it's confirmed. And so we get this information, of course, from the CinemaCon, which screened that footage from the movie behind closed doors. you had to be, you had to get into the screener. They didn't allow anybody to have phones. So I don't know, people of course probably snuck some shit, but it hasn't really leaked. And if it did get put up, it's immediately removed kind of thing. But according to, some of the new footage, it shows the team on a talk show, and Sue is announcing on the talk show that she's pregnant at a family dinner. And Julia Garner, Silver Surfer, shows up and says that Earth has been marked for destruction. And excitingly, Sue's pregnancy means that obviously we'll most likely eventually be seeing the introduction of the big honcho Franklin Richards. And in the comics, yes, he's the child of Sue and Reed, and he's an incredibly powerful mutant with reality altering abilities. You had Jonathan Hickman had him creating galaxies. It was a cool scene. He's like sitting there under his blanket. He's like maybe whatever. He's like 5 years old or whatever, and you see him under his blanket with the light shining. You think it's like a kid under the blanket with the flashlight reading a comic or some shit. And you zoom in and they come inside the blanket and he's got a fucking galaxy that he's created between his hands, like a whole galaxy with everything that's in a galaxy, right? So whether we see Franklin show up in this movie later, if he comes out to the MCU later, if he's just gonna be a baby or a toddler and we see him do toddler shit, or the galaxy under the blanket gag, which is pretty famous and iconic. But yeah, I mean there was a 5.5 hour cast reveal that unveiled over 20 names for Avengers, according to Feige, and that's not everyone. So he said um, Paul Walter Hauser, who's in Fantastic Four, one of the main characters, said, "I believe this will go down in history as one of the ones that started a new tide of successful storytelling for the company." So this, this feeling that Marvel's back and the MCU's back and things are changing is being, like people. That's what the industry's saying too. So yeah, I
And
mean,
give,
I'm hopeful.
they want to give off that perception that it's back. I mean,
Yes.
one thing that
So,
they're giving everybody is not an origin story.
mhm.
That's what's crazy about this, because now we're seeing Franklin Richards when you know usually we want to see how the Fantastic Four started in the MCU, and they're like, nah, let's scrub that because y'all already know. So it's pretty cool that they're doing from that perspective. It's like, all right, we know how they all became the Fantastic Four. Let's just shoot straight to the baby now. This
Yeah,
is Franklin Richards' origin.
right. Yeah, I mean, it's this whole team's origin and this whole, and yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna get Doctor Doom in this movie, Galactus, obviously, but the trailer's dope. The trailer we saw, it looks good. I think the movie's gonna be good. I'm hopeful, but we'll have to wait and see because, of course, it's all marketing. We never know what shit's gonna really look like, how it's gonna really be.
Mhm.
But for the footage that people saw, I'm excited to see that Sue is pregnant, and so there's definitely going to be Franklin Richards in some form or another. And apparently, apparently, Shalabal Silver Surfer looks badass and comes in, and it's pretty cool. And she's like, says some cool shit, and it's dope. So, yeah, um, yeah. And
Oh,
and Franklin Richards is not the only kid too. There's also Valeria Richards as well, and they've been pretty big and important in a lot of the comics and shit like that. So, and you've seen them all suited up and stuff with the family a couple of times. Like this is Franklin here and Valeria right here. Skirt.
yeah.
And yeah, he's got the F on his shirt for Franklin. She has the V for Valeria. And there's Devil Girl and Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur in the background. Uh,
That'd be cool if they show Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. That'd be weird. But it cool.
oh yeah.
Everybody, people flip out in the movie theater if they shut up.
Yeah, I'd definitely be like, yo.
Oh yeah. And one of the
You know
go ahead.
now how so they're gonna all right by the end of the movie, how old do you think they're gonna be? Because
Well,
I've
yeah.
got like comics. that that shows them at different ages and
Hmm.
doing their powers or whatever. So
Yeah, I
I
don't
would
think
like
they're
to know
gonna
how
be
old they're
suited
gonna
up
be.
like this. Yeah, I don't think they'll be like this in this movie. I think that they'll be like this in maybe the next phase or in the mutant phase. I think Franklin Richards' story will probably be involved with the mutant story because he is famously a mutant, and that's an important part of his character.
Hmm.
They retcon. There's a stupid retcon where they recently like said that he wasn't a mutant, but I think that was then retconned again. So,
And,
but
and it's also funny, man. Like, what if all this was just Franklin Richards,
yeah,
his whole thing? This is his MCU, is his universe. This is his story.
all in
Everything,
his mind.
all the
Yeah,
MCU, all the past movies, all everything was from him. At the end, that's what they want to make this came all out of this child's mind.
they could do it. They could do that.
You
They
know?
could do that. I mean,
Mm.
it's possible. I mean, it is a possibility. It's not. I mean, it's something that he could do. That's who Franklin Richards is. You could find out at the end that he didn't thought this whole shit up. So that's who we're talking about here. So him coming into this is very exciting. Him coming in as a baby. Is she going to give birth to twins? Are they going to make Franklin and Valeria, the twins? So we hope that's what we end up seeing. As it should be. Um, and the thing about Valeria, and like it mentions here, Doctor Doom's relationship with Valeria. Doctor Doom is a big character in this Marvel universe with Robert Downey Jr. playing him. He's going to be a major, major character. So he's going to not just be like a villain in the background, right? So, and he is a major character in Fantastic Four. He was a scientist with Reed. So let us say one of the more interesting elements to come to Valeria Richards involves her connection to Doctor Doom. As much as Doom hates the Fantastic Four in general and Reed in particular, he's pretty fond of Valeria. She may be the one person on Earth that incredibly self-absorbed Doom genuinely loves. And in fact, Doom is Valeria's godfather. When Sue went into labor, complications from her cosmic ray exposure caused Valeria's birth to be extremely difficult. Her brother Johnny was forced to call Doom to aid the delivery of the baby. Doom's price was to choose Valeria's name, and he named the baby after his former lover, Valeria. Ever since that day, Doom has shown a particular affection for Valeria. That bond has only grown after Valeria's brilliant mind has begun to assert itself, and she is maybe one of the smartest people in the Marvel universe. Um, maybe and smarter than Reed. Like in the comics, she's the smartest person in the Marvel universe. That's been said. So much to hear her father's chagrin, Valeria reciprocates Doom's love, even referring to him as Uncle Doom. Doom will never bring himself to acknowledge Reed as the superior scientist, but he has no such hangups when it comes to Valeria. As much as Doom hates Reed, he covets what his nemesis has: a warm, loving family and the respect and adulation of that entire planet. And that's why when Doom remakes reality into Battleworld in 2015 Secret Wars, he steals Reed's family for his own. Susan becomes God Emperor Doom's consort, and Franklin and Valeria are his adopted children. And this is a dope comic, by the way, guys. If you've not read it yet, please make sure you read that before the movie comes out. It's fucking serious. Frankly, naturally, Sue was none too thrilled and realized what happened to her to her memories when her memories returned. Sorry, but despite all that, the bond between Uncle Doom and Valeria Richards endures. But yeah, that could be some very interesting
Uncle Doom.
fodder. Uncle Doom, right there. Yeah,
Gotta
Uncle
call Uncle.
Doom, right there.
Need to borrow Uncle Doom's car.
Word. Oh,
Stupid.
Wow.
call Uncle Doom. But let's see here. What else before we wait? Let me get that.
That's interesting. Maybe Doom, because Doom has been known to tamper with time as well. So
Right.
maybe that Valeria is actually his wife, his
You
lover.
never know. Yeah, dog. I mean, with the whole thing with Kang and the time
Yeah,
to the time TVA and all that, man, like everything is up for grabs. Anything is possible right now. And
yeah,
that's why I said like I'll get into it, but Gambit or Channing Tatum hinting that he might not even be playing Gambit, and it Len's it's a very interesting thing when he said that, because one thing we notice about that trailer, it's just actors' chairs in
Hmm.
on a set.
Yeah.
Mm.
Why doesn't it say character names? When do they do it? When is a promo out? Right. So this is not, oh, this character, this character, this character. They just said the actors.
Hmm.
Now, what does that tell you? We all know this multiversal shenanigans shit is all what the deal is. So, 9 times out of 10, and what Channing's actually hinting at is that some of these people are playing other characters.
Hmm.
Channing Tatum might be Thor, and Chris Hemsworth might be Wolverine, right? Fucking Patrick Stewart might be Gambit, right? Hopefully not, but that's the type of shit they're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they did it with Doom, so with Robert Downey as Doom.
Exactly.
Why
That's
not? Let's mix it up. This is a whole new universe playground. Let's play now. We were serious in the beginning, but now we want to have real fun and play and go crazy, taking it to a level of the what if level. Because this is what this screams to me.
yep,
This whole thing is an experiment, like a what if comic. What
yep,
if Spider Man was really not Spider Man? What if he was the Phantom or some craziness? You know what I mean?
right. Yeah, I mean, that's the
He was
toy
actually
box.
the Hulk, and he turned
I
into
mean,
Spider Hulk.
Spider Hulk.
Mm.
Crazy,
Well,
you know.
didn't Doom just do that now? And because you got Spider Knot, he's mixed him with the Juggernaut. Doom did something right now because he's Sorcerer Supreme. So
Hmm.
turn Spider Man into like part Spider Man, part Juggernaut.
Yeah, but there's a classic comic that is worth a little penny where you do have the Spider Hulk.
Yeah.
Even the action figure is a lot of money.
And speaking of action figures,
Yeah.
y'all, we are going to get into the toy tariffs, man. So stay tuned if you're here to talk about the toy tariffs. We definitely are chopping that up tonight. But yeah, this
I will come with the
MCU,
Thanos glove.
the I say what?
I will come with the Thanos glove.
Mm, and snap. But um these are some of the what do you call it? These are the teams that the MCU headman added that the film features: the Avengers, the Thunderbolts, the Wakandans, Fantastic Four, and original X-Men. So that means Fox X-Men. And my thing with that is like, I've
Oh,
been waiting for this MCU X-Men, like they're gonna do the MCU's version of the X-Men. This is gonna be the MCU X-Men, the new X-Men. What's the fucking point of bringing back the Fox X-Men, y'all? It's supposed to be the MCU X-Men. Like, what was the whole point of this whole build-up waiting for the X-Men, and then you're just bringing and doing the Fox thing over again? At least I hope they give them some comic accurate costumes. They do have the potential to do that. That would fucking make up for a lot of shit. And with Gambit, they did, and boy, that was a nice one. That was a really good costume. They killed it with the Gambit costume. But
yeah.
yeah, a baby abounds. So they're announcing that. They're announcing the baby. Silver Surfer's Grim Galactus warning for the Fantastic Four. Why are they gonna show Norrin Rad? Come on, guys, that's not fair. Another key. Silver Surfer. She says, "Are you the protectors of this world? Your planet is now marked for death." And Reed said, "I stretched the boundaries of space, and they heard."
Hmm.
And yeah, so yeah, he did. He fucked around and he stretched the boundaries of space. So Reed Richards all the time, he's fucking with shit. He's fucking with time. He's fucking with multiverse. He's fucking with portals and right. He's doing all this shit, space and everything, and he's gonna fuck up his own universe to the point that you know
Hmm.
that's how they're gonna end up over in the MCU for Avengers. And it, let's see, while it's unclear what Reed is referring to when he replies, the Silver Surfer's warning with a tease of stretching the boundaries of space, it seems clear that whatever it is angered planet devouring big bad. I don't know if it angered Galactus if as so much as has alerted him to some energy. Like, oh, there's hella power over there. Let me go get that energy.
Hmm.
Val's evil plan and Thunderbolts confirmed. What else? That's it. Those are 6 items. I don't know. That's not really 6 items. I'm sorry, y'all. But yeah, man. Getting into this Superman footage. So have we all seen it? Have you seen it?
Yep, I love it.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. I love it too.
I
And
love it. It makes
crypto, yeah, crypto's my dude.
yes. I'm way more excited for that movie now. Um, I am. Yeah, because it it feels like a James Gunn movie. Now I know that it does, right? Before it was like, okay, watching this footage now, go watch this footage now and then go back and watch the first trailer again. For me, it was a whole different experience. I saw it completely differently because now I knew what I was looking at. I knew how they were really acting because with that trailer with the music playing and shit, you don't really know what this is going to be like at all. You can't feel the tone or the vibe of it whatsoever. This new footage though, it definitely gave us the vibe that we needed, or it gave us the vibe of the movie, and I think it tells us. My bad, y'all. Let me get this thing up here with the picture.
Yeah, with crypto being a
Yeah,
real playful pup. Yo,
Yeah, he's jumping all over Superman and everything. He's like,
that was
"Roof."
great. I'm so glad it's animated.
and he has the power, but he really still thinks like a dog, and that's what's pretty cool.
Yep, Yamcha pose,
Hmm. You could go back underground.
and ain't nobody gonna find
Yeah.
you.
Now
See what they do?
the version
They
that
holding
we
him down. They putting the sun in him and giving him his. That's how they healing him.
that's
By
healing
get
him. Yeah.
yeah, but because Superman get his.
The stuff we see right there like that, that's paying homage to the movie. The
Yeah.
movies, the first
Yeah,
movies did that. They made the Fortress of Solitude like that. Just
Hmm.
like you cannot argue. This is beautiful.
Hmm.
Like
and that's
that's
got to be a young Superman because that's different. Because I've
gorgeous.
read comics where he'll fly into the atmosphere. He'll just soak in the sunlight.
Yeah.
He'll just sit up there and soak and get his powers.
But they got
Get
this
stronger.
that beam they got, that's supposed to be magnifying the sun by like hundreds of times.
Yeah, that would be too much for him at one time. Yeah.
But he needed it.
Yeah.
Something fucked him up. So and there's some hella, alien technology right there, which they flashed real quick, showing him, his internal vital organs.
Yeah.
And that way the automatons, the robots could see what they needed to do to hook him up. But, you know, that's the Donner sort of like Superman like logo thing.
Yeah.
Richard Donner, Christopher Reeves, classic Superman movie. You're not gonna like this movie. That's just all the other superheroes and shit, right? So I
If
wanted to
you run
see
that back, you seen where he had the automaton on the ground. So I guess somebody did find the Fortress of Solitude.
and fucked it up.
Yeah, look, you'll see right there.
Yeah.
Wow,
Hold on. Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Like so they did find the
Yep.
motherfucker.
Wait,
Somebody
go back.
came
Wait, go
in.
back. Let me see.
Yeah, I mean they
Yeah.
tore that
If
robot
that's
up.
in, yeah. It
But
might not be in the fortress. He might because there are sometimes with Superman those robots come and save him,
oh, he's
or he'll
definitely at the
send them
fortress.
out to do something to fight.
You can see the
But he
crystals in
might,
the
yeah, he
background.
might look like he's in the fortress. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And if somebody finds the fortress, yeah, that's big for Superman because
Well, it's
in the
Lex
comics the
Luthor.
general public is
It's always Lex
always
Luthor.
yeah Luther. Yeah. Oh, we know Luther
They
finds it.
always
Yeah, we
find
know
that bitch.
Luther finds it.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
we
you know.
know, yeah, but we know the general public, and that's the part that always got me about Superman. General public was always either unaware, or
Right.
vaguely aware of the existence of the Fortress of Solitude. And
It
it's
tells us a lot. I think it tells us a lot about the movie. It lets us know that this is definitely going to be a James Gunn flick. Some people are a little bit, again, some people want this more traditional. James Gunn's new Superman footage divides the internet. Superman doesn't whine. The fuck you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's just stupid. You just want him to be like the old 40s cartoon where he just doesn't like have any expression and he's like impervious to everything. That's corny.
Yeah.
Tired of that.
Superman doesn't want. That's funny, right?
Yeah, that's hilarious. Let me
Shit.
see.
doesn't whine when in the first movie when Lois he was crying and everything, and
Look,
Yeah, he
then
messed
he
up in the
blacked
game.
out in reverse time. So no,
mhm. and
he
this
Yeah.
is
has
the
emotion.
he says the real Superman doesn't need a bunch of robots to carry him over to the table to heal, and he doesn't whine like a little bitch when the sun hits him. Like you don't. First of all, you have no idea what you're talking about. Where do you get that information? How do you know that? Like, what are you talking about? Like, and if he's fucked up, and yes, we've seen Superman fucked up to the point that he needs somebody to carry him
Yeah,
multiple times.
the motherfucker died.
Like, come on. Like, who you talking about? Like, first of all,
These people are stupid.
they're very stupid. I'm not. You know what it is? They're just not comic people, and that's who. When you show the screener to a casual group of people that are not comic people, they're gonna think shit like this. This is what they're gonna say, and that's how they're not gonna like the movie. And so, Gunn, I think, pulled a fast one on DC and WB because he's a comic nerd and he's making movies for comic nerds, not the casual audience like the MCU. And I think that I think DC wanted him to. I think the WB, they like, oh, we'll hire Gunn. He's an MCU. He's an MCU super guy. He'll give us an MCU. Well, the MCU is for the casual audience. It's for people who don't know shit about comics. It's what it's for. That's who it's made for. That's who they direct their movies toward, the casual people. And this is not. And so, yeah, man, this guy says Snyder's Superman literally took a nuke at point blank range and then healed from the sun without feeling any pain from its radiation. which is accurate in the comics. Gunn's mediocre interpretation is screaming in agony.
Oh, but this same fool didn't know that Snyder's Superman got beat to death by Doomsday in the same damn
What?
in the
Don't
same
help him in the
huh?
same universe. Yeah, don't tell him nothing.
It's like, yo, that's crazy. That's
This
crazy. Like, yo, it's like
and then,
your tunnel vision to one part
right.
of a movie. Like, come on, man.
This idiot here, he says, James Gunn gets it, they said. He won't make it a stupid comedy, they said. They said he understood the assignment. That was the worst Superman clip I've ever seen. It's an utter joke, and it's all about crypto. Like, who
Well,
are these people, dog? Who are these people? How in the hell, what is this? How in the name of hell can anyone not like this preview? I'm convinced some people just like to rage hate. This looks so Superman. Wait, he said, this looks so Superman, it's insane. And it really does. Like, if you're a fan of the character, if you really have read his comics and watched the cartoons and really paid attention to the movies, you would know that, like, he's very vulnerable, and that's the whole thing about him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. That's his arcs are always about him being vulnerable. Like, that's his whole, like, because he's so impervious to everything.
Yeah.
A Superman story is when he's not.
Mhm.
That's the story, right? That's why they're telling the story, because this was the time he got fucked up.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Watching him punch robots to death is not interesting forever, right? But this guy says, by far and away, the best part of this trailer is that there is zero cynicism, zero moral grayness, zero self-loathing, zero sense that Superman is a vigilante. It's a romantic, idealistic, innocent vision, which is pure awesome.
damn.
Hell yeah.
Love the
I guess
design
he
of the
said a
fortress.
mouthful.
Yeah, he loves it. Loves the design of the Fortress of Solitude and the giant double doors with the House of L symbol that lights up. We have Crypto, Kelix, and other service robots. This is very Silver Age and All-Star Superman, and I fucking love it. This is a guy.
It is.
Dope.
This is
He's right.
people that
He's
know comics.
100% right.
He knows comics.
Yeah.
The dog being rambunctious, little shit jumping all over you at the worst possible times is incredibly relatable.
Yeah.
Also, good Lord, everything about the Fortress looks great. This movie is Superman as fuck.
Yeah.
Or as one user summed up the debate, what kind of Superman fan are you? And they showed that dude. If y'all remember that.
Mm.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. I think this tells us a lot. I'm glad that Gunn put out this little bit of footage because for me anyway, it now I can relax because before I was kind of like I have no idea what he's gonna do. Like if he's gonna try to step out of his own box and do some weird different thing, it might suck. Like I don't know what he's gonna do, right? But
No,
now that I know he's
I
doing
don't think he
him,
would do that.
now I know
Yeah, I
he's
don't think
doing
he would do
him.
that
I'm
because
still of the sound mind. He shouldn't have showed shit at the Super Bowl. He should have just
You
showed
just want to see the symbol. That's it.
it's a symbol, dun, 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 and have that fade in the background and
Yeah.
let that live.
He'd
And
never get away with that in today's day and age, but yeah, I wish
no,
that's
I
how it was.
know.
I wish.
Because
I wish.
yeah, people, yeah, people want too much now, and they pry too much, and they, you got people that leak stuff like Minecraft. Somebody just leaked an unofficial, or I guess the uncut version of Minecraft online before the movie was released. So now you can go right online. Everybody goes to their favorite streaming site. We're not gonna talk about that here. And they stream it and they're gonna watch it. And like you said, you can't get away. Now you gotta literally do everything you can to keep your movie safe before it comes out. He still got what, 3 months to go?
yeah,
Like we ain't gonna see this till July. Hopefully nobody won't leak
yeah,
this movie or part of it online before we get to July. So you have to be careful nowadays, and now the audience nowadays they want to see as much as they can. They want as much as they can, and the more you give them, the more they take and the more they want. So I'm glad he put this footage out because, like you said, now one guy said it's just Silver Age as fuck. Like it is, bro. You got all his robots. You got crypto. You got the fortress. Crypto barks. The door opens, so it knows who he is. I mean, that's dope, man. Like you can't listen. We haven't gotten a Superman movie in a long time that felt like Superman. Everybody's trying to make Superman what they want him to be. They want him to be this dude that ain't the Boy Scout. They want him to be this dude that's a little more darker than what he is. But at the end of the day, all we want is a really good Superman movie that depicts Superman who he is.
mhm,
And above all else, we want to be entertained.
fact.
That's
It'd be
that's
funny
that's
if
just
all
just
that
what we
footage he threw out there was just B-roll, and he's just like, "I'm gonna fuck y'all heads up with this shit."
I was thinking the same thing too. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing too, bro. I was like, damn, that's just like
That'd be
deleted
ingenious.
scenes. Yeah, with them just deleted scenes and stuff.
It
The
wouldn't
stuff
be.
we get in
Yeah.
movies better.
Yeah, he just discarded. Like, yo, that'd be
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
I'd be
that
like,
would be. Yeah,
finally, a real rebel we needed in the industry. He don't give a flying f about nothing. You're gonna watch the movie when I show you it. This stuff right here is not even in the movie.
Yeah. It's just deleted scenes right here.
Word,
But
word.
but one of these scenes though, at the 2 minute and 45 second mark, if you listen very, very closely, you get to hear Papa Superman in the background,
Mhm,
Jor-El, speaking in Kryptonian. So we don't know what the fuck he's
oh yeah,
saying.
you do.
mhm,
But
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
what you might not know is that's Bradley Cooper.
mhm.
That's Bradley
really.
Cooper. Yeah. Check it out. Bradley Cooper playing Jor-El. Here we go. 2 minutes, 45 seconds. Right now. It's Kaladem, Guskui, Tirisho, and it's very clearly Bradley Cooper. It's Kaladem, Yatui, Yeah, definitely speaking Kryptonian, but definitely Bradley Cooper right there. So yeah, that's interesting. And I like Bradley Cooper. I think he's a good actor. I like him in a lot of shit. He could definitely be a cool Jarrell.
Yeah,
Um,
he was Rocket, so
yeah. Slade said I can't hear it, but I know it's dope. You might not hear it as we're playing it, but later after the show, go play it, turn it up. It's at 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and turn it. It's very, very audible.
Mm.
Very audible. But yeah, Bradley Cooper, man. Bradley Cooper as Jor-El. Um You know, depending on which corners of the internet you listen to, there has been some talk that Bradley Cooper is going to be there, and now for me, dude, that's clearly Bradley Cooper. Like you can hear his voice; it's very clearly him. But yeah, July 11th. Yeah, the first live action entry in James Gunn and Peter Safran's DCU Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters. The cast also features Rachel Brosnahan, Lois Lane, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, and Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, the Green Lantern. And Guy Gardner, the Green Lantern, is going to be in the Lanterns movie, the Lanterns show, right? Which big, I would hope so, right? Because the whole thing about this universe is supposed to be so totally connected between the shows and the movies, and so now they're making a Green Lantern show.
Mm.
So you better have that Green Lantern that you put in the Superman movie up in there too. So we've got Guy Gardner, Hal Jordan, and Jon Stewart all in the show at some point. I don't think Guy Gardner is going to be like a main character in the show, but he's going to be in probably an episode.
It's gonna be some. It's gonna be something. Because
Yeah.
Don't forget, Absolute Green Lantern came out this week too. Don't forget about that. Speaking of Green Lantern,
It's not really for me, but
yeah, but
I was let
think
down.
there's gonna be some comedy plays back and forth with old boy playing a straight lantern, but Guy Gardner and the other guy going at it all the way.
Yeah. It's gonna be hilarious. Let's say you can certainly hear a little Cooper in that scene. Of course, the actor as previous with Gun, Chameleon, as before, Raccoon, and the guard. Yeah, so yeah, I mean Bradley Cooper already works with James Gunn. Obviously, that's Rocket Raccoon.
It's part of his crew.
Yeah, he's part of the crew for sure.
yeah, he's part of the crew. Yeah. He'll probably use as many people from Guardians as he can. He'll probably get as many people as he can from Guardians. So
why not? I mean, well, they know your nuances, they know your little quirks and how you want things inflected in the acting. Yeah, all the way.
And don't worry, y'all. We are about to talk about the tariffs and the toys. We're gonna get into the tariffs and the toys. If you came here to watch the evil tariffs episode, we're definitely gonna talk about it. Hoping some more guests show up. We do have someone that may pop in late tonight if we're still rocking. I don't know if we're still gonna be on then, but we'll see. But hopping right into the toys actually, but staying in the Superman world. We actually have the DCU Superman toys that are coming out, the merch that they're going to be busting out for the movie, which I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but let's blow it up and see what we can see. Hopefully, it is right here on the gram.
On the Grizzam.
Yep. So I can't get it. I can't blow it up any bigger, but there's a whole full table full of shit. There's a zoom in on probably a what are they 8-point articulation or whatever, 12-point or whatever, like a lesser figure there, and then wow, they're kind of skipping it, but right there to the right, is this maybe the new Mattel DC figures? That's what I'm thinking. On the right, I'm thinking this is the new Mattel shit they're taking, because it's definitely in it says DC Multiverse on the box. So, and it's kind of looks like a McFarlane box. So it's either Mattel taking McFarlane's thing over, or it's McFarlane still doing toys at this. There they are. So yeah, that's DC Multiverse figures right there. There's a Lex Luthor, I think, and there's Superman. Who is that on the right? Is that Lex? I don't know. Is he a little Yoda with him?
No, that ain't Lex. No,
it's hard to see.
Yeah. I can't see it. It's hard to see. Yeah, I
can see it a lot better than y'all can, but yeah, there's some really bad images of some of the Superman DCU Superman merch, but everything Funko Pops, the big ones, little ones, mini ones. It's just every single type of toy. Obviously, wait, go back. There's a DC Multiverse statue there with a comic on top of it. Probably page punchers. So McFarlane's still doing his thing. And speaking of McFarlane, damn it, McFarlane. Yeah, damn it, McFarlane. He's already killing us. He's killing us already. So the tariffs have hit. It's going down. There's no two ways about it. There's no way out of it. It's happening. It's already going down. And McFarlane's already in. He's already done it. He's already said fuck it, and he's raised the prices. He jacked them up already. So the expected impact and just the plain maths of the new U.S. tariffs on imports was again the most read story on a lot of these sites yesterday, and that's because Todd McFarlane raises prices. Lying in the gutters is the daily runaround and most read stories the day before, as the well over the as well as over the past 6 years. Founded 16 years ago and steeped in a history of comic book industry gossip, a further 18 years before that, one of these sites has become the longest standing and most well-known pop culture sites around. So I get my information there, and I'm pretty confident in what they're saying. And according to them, McFarlane's jacked up the prices already. Some of the figures we're already seeing it. Hasbro is talking about how collectors are going to be hit the most. The U.S. government has gone through with the tariffs. It wasn't just a threat. I think around April 2nd, they dropped. So the impact that China, how it's impacting China, I think is definitely going to affect us the most, because most of these figures, most of these toys, they're all made in China, and the ones starting April 2nd may impact Vietnam, and both of the impact Vietnam and China tariffs are going to impact Transformers hobbyists most, according to Hasbro.
And Transformers are already expensive as hell.
Right.
So I know because I collect them. I
Woo.
know I collect Transformers, and they're already up there. They get any more up there, and I'll be looking at them from the sideline until they go on sale.
Yeah.
So I might not always put my Transformers out, but I do have I have a box I'll keep them in, and I'll swap them all out every now and then because some of them I gotta have and some of them I don't. But as soon as these tariffs went into effect, China, I think it was China, Japan, and somebody else, three countries that always have had issues with each other economically, socially, and everything. They all banded together and just said, "Skip it. We're just gonna put a 35% tariff on everything you guys send to us, and we're gonna keep it moving."
Well,
Yeah.
So
they always,
they're not. Hmm?
China always did that to us. We was
What,
at
put tariffs on us?
in 1996. They have a post up with Nancy Pelosi showing how there was 2% tariffs for China and 33 for us.
Yep. And
So
That was with yeah, but that was different. That was with that was the video games, and then that was more a thing where in electronics because all it was being made over there. And we had a thing where Nintendo had a really, really, really kind of like a lot of people in the business, especially in the video game industry, said it was slimy. They had a very, very, very kind of like cutthroat business policy. And Nintendo was they were big. They were big in the world at that time. And if you wanted to put something out on there, they charged you all this money, and they made money, and you made they made this much, you made this much, and you had to and they had to prove it. It was a lot, man.
with
And as time changed, and things changed, and then Sony got in the game, they changed the game. So China had to change, and then everybody else had to change. So tariffs only hurt the consumer at the end of the day because we're the ones that absorb the cost. But companies are going to do what they want, and as long as we buy their product, they can get away with it.
so here's how I interpret the whole thing, and I dropped the bomb after I show you my interpretation. All right, tariffs affect the consumer, but the consumer will not buy. So that affects the company. Then it
Right.
affects the manufacturer because now the manufacturer is not getting money from said company to produce said product. So it's not going to affect the consumer unless the consumer continues to buy. Once that consumer stop consuming, It's all on the companies now. It's all on the manufacturers now.
Well,
Right.
yeah, I mean, you
But
got DC Multiverse, like Todd McFarlane. He's raising prices. Like his toys are gone up $3
okay, but if
Yeah.
you
increase.
stop buying
And
the
And he
stuff, who suffers? You see what
but
this
but
you know, but
but he
fans know to
did
stay
say
fierce on retailers like Big
yeah,
Bad Toy Store and GameStop,
yeah.
and prices rise due to 20%. This
a
is
lot
the
of people right
China
now are
imports.
price gouging. The prices went up because they're gouging at this point. Because there's already inventory.
But this is a manufacturer. This is
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah. But I'm
this is
saying
McFarlane.
there's already inventory that came over. Motherfuckers was rushing to bring their inventory over since Trump announced that he was going to hit them tariffs. So that between that month's time, I think it was 2 months' time from the announcement of the tariffs that he was going to impose till now, these guys, because I'm in a company and they were rushing stuff over. You understand what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So them
Yeah.
rushing stuff over here, they already have the inventory in their warehouses here from the manufacturers. So any prices that go up now is them being greedy because they haven't even put in the orders for the future stuff with the tariffs in mind. So that,
Crystal Ball they just charged my card for Crystal Ball.
you know what I'm saying? Price gouging. That's what's
How
happening.
much what did it go up or
No,
was it up or
but
was it
that's fast.
normal?
Like Crystal Ball was he's one of the more recent releases, so he's supposed to be down
Right.
the line. We still haven't gotten
And they
Flint and
had him
fucking
made before the new year.
Well,
before.
I
There's
watched
like
the
three
thing on
waves still
Forbes.
we're waiting on.
Yeah, I watched the thing where they were saying
We're waiting
like
on
Nintendo
motherfucking
had a good
Bioshock.
yeah, like Nintendo had a good point. And I watched a few things and they said that basically like a lot of car dealers now, because a lot of like I don't care if you drive anything from a Toyota to a Ford Falcon. Um there a lot of car companies are saying that they import and overstocked on parts so that people don't have to pay the tariffs on the stuff coming in after a certain date. So
Mhm.
like you seen people getting their cars fixed now because they're like, look, let me get my car fixed now. I might need a temperature sensor and I need to get that done.
Yeah,
So,
so toy companies are trying to hurry up and get the
tour
toys
companies are
over here
doing the same
now.
thing. They're trying to get stuff
Yeah,
over now
But
because they're not going to be able to control it one in the future. So like something that get like Dr. Mind been there ain't supposed to come out until what, September. And we've waiting on him forever.
well,
He's
here's
going
the
to be able
deal.
to buy that.
You gotta think. You gotta think. Most of these U.S. toy companies rely on China for manufacturing. So and that's because labor and production costs are lower. If the tariffs go up to a point where it's no longer economically makes sense to make shit in China, they will start having shit made in other countries, Malaysia or wherever the fuck. And as these new tariffs are coming in, the import costs on the toys are starting to come up too, and we're starting to see that shit. It's affecting us. And
It is
sadly, the
affecting us.
DC multiverse has already started to feel the burden of these tariffs, and whether it's and the thing is like I think that Todd McFarlane is jumping the gun, raising the prices because it's not here yet. He's really tripping right now
he's
because
price gouging.
He is,
he's
but
preemptively raising the
in the
prices because
right,
that we're not to that point yet. It's really more in the
but in
fall that we're going to start seeing the toy prices
shit, yeah,
be
or later
forced
this
to
summer.
be raised
And this because
the
the
fall.
tariffs take effect like I think the 20th of this month or so, or the
Well,
30th of somewhere at the end of this month.
toy
It's gonna
tariffs
rain.
will be in fall.
It's what
Yeah, toy tariffs will
they'll be
be
in
in
the
fall.
fall
Yeah.
because I know McFarlane said he raised his prices for one reason. And me and you talked about this a lot, Reno. Uh, McFarlane just does things one way. That's just it. And whatever he does is what he does. He thinks it's the best thing, like releasing one figure out of 1,000, and that's the one figure that you need to complete your collection. And he'll only make 100,000 of them, but he'll make 1 million of the other figures. But he
Mhm.
he claims that he did it because he the stuff that he gets made in China is cheaper for him to get made there and better,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah. He
quality is
said.
better. So
He said.
he said that's why he did it. He said
Yeah.
I can't get it, I can't make it here. I gotta make it over there. So I
Yeah.
gotta raise the price.
Yeah. 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 He said. Quote. Due to the 20% tariffs imposed on imports from China to the United States, some of our products will see price increases effective immediately. We have worked hard to minimize the impact and have limited these adjustments to only certain items. As always, our priority is bringing fans the best products at the most affordable prices possible. We appreciate your continued support. And to be fair, his comics are always the cheapest. His toys are always the cheapest. Like, they're cheaper than Legends. The comics are cheaper than Marvel comics. They used to be $2.99. Guess what? Spawn just went up to $3.99. So that sucks. Comics are getting hit really hard because they're all made in Canada. They're all made outside the United States. So comics, that's why it's a collectibles nightmare, the tariffs. And McFarlane's toy statement says only certain lines will be affected, and so that, you know, fans, we've already seen a $3 increase in our line. So, you know, while the McFarlane toy stores prices that are slightly lower than like Big Bad Toy Store or GameStop, they have the higher prices because they're jacking it up. And so like GameStop Cowardly Lot Batman getting a new $27.99 price tag instead of the usual $22.99. That's $5. And that's a lot of money. That shit adds up. And, you know, the recently revealed DC Comics digital Silver Age wave that I'm super into. I'm really into this. Oh, I fucking love this shit. They had, and I just got the Superman and the what you call it, the Two-Face that we just got, Stu and me, and they're getting a $3 boost for the Superman, Dr. Fate, and Two-Face. Those are $3 more now. Those are $27.99. They used to be $22. So, well, I'm sorry, they used to be 24,
23.
27.
Yeah,
So they're
23.
$4, they're $3 more, and that's not a drastic change. Like, dedicated fans are not going to change their habits in any ways over a $3 hike. At least, you know, dedicated fans.
Now
And
you got to
it's
ask
not
yourself.
forever, really. Suppose it should only
Nah,
be a 2-year deal or something like that.
Nah, it might be longer than that. But I
We
did
hope
ask my computer when they're going into effect. So initial tariffs, a 10% baseline tariff will be in effect on April 5th. A steeper reciprocal tariffs are going to effect on April 9th. Consumers are expected to see higher prices for toys, especially new products released in the late summer and fall. Now, Nintendo, which makes sense because
Well,
Nintendo was supposed to start pre-orders.
Transformers
Yeah,
tariffs already hit on the 2nd, but
yeah. So
our lines are
now
gonna hit in the fall.
they're gonna hit in the fall or late spring.
Marvel
Now,
Legends and all
Nintendo,
that. No,
now
fall.
Nintendo announced that they're taking pre-orders for the Switch 2 on the 9th, which
Yes.
now they announced that they got to push that pre-order date back
Yes.
because of the tariffs that are going to hit. But Nintendo did say that it will still release on June 5th. So when we're going to be able to pre-order Nintendo Switch, I have no idea because the 9th date has been pushed back to whatever. And I think they said that the higher tariffs will be China starts theirs on the 10th of April. And then you still got Vietnam, Indonesia, India,
Yeah.
places, they're toys that are still made there.
But see,
So
but like I said, man, people are not paying attention to the bigger picture. The bigger picture is it's a stalemate either way. It's not. It's gonna be higher, but the people gotta have the conscience enough to know. All right, we're not taking this shit. But let me tell you. Let me drop the bomb now. He did mention he want to get rid of taxes on your work on your wages. He don't
that's just
want
stupid.
federal.
That's
No,
just
no, no,
stupid.
no. No, it's not.
That's just stupid. Yeah, it is stupid because you got to realize where the
Federally, there's no law that says you're supposed to be taxed. It's
that's true.
voluntary. It's
That's true.
voluntarily you're
That is
paying
true.
a tax on
IRS
the
is
That's
not
true.
federal
IRS
wage.
is not a government. It's a private institution.
That's true.
But
That's
I'm
true.
talking about
But
the federal tax.
But
No code.
try to treat them that way.
You, it's straight up voluntarily. They tell you this.
Okay.
You can go. Yeah,
no,
they
he's right.
choose
No,
not
he's
to
right.
pay.
That's true. It is
Yeah.
a voluntary. It's a
Yeah.
voluntary
You
program.
can
You're right.
choose not to pay, and they'll choose to put your ass in jail.
Which is
Get
illegal. Which
Wesley
you
snipe
can't
you, huh?
fight.
You get
There,
Wesley
there are
snipe.
people who fought it and won. There are people out there who fought that and won.
These people have beat murder charges too, but I'm not like,
But what I'm saying
making
is,
this hell of easy.
it would be in the best interest of the American people to say, hey, We accept not being taxed on our wages. That's more money in your pocket that you should have had in the beginning.
Right.
Right? So that cancels out the tariffs. So everybody's beating on him because of the tariffs. But when he eliminates that taxes, I'm gonna be like DMX said, be back on his dick again.
Yeah.
Then
I don't think nobody's gonna be back on Trump. Listen, man.
telling you,
I don't think nobody. Listen, man. I don't think nobody gonna be Ubering on Donald Trump's ding because basically he didn't fired half the government, and most of these people voted for him. He didn't fire the other half of the government that voted for him. And he's still firing people and taking away stuff. The DOJ. He doesn't respect the laws of the country. He doesn't have no loyalty to the Constitution or anything like that.
And ain't
That
shit
stuff
you can do about
matters.
it.
Yeah, that stuff matters. So like
but
there are gonna be toy companies. We're gonna see toy companies go under. We're gonna see toy companies go under because of this. We're gonna
what
see toy companies
I
that
want
can't
to know what
survive this.
law he broke. Honestly,
As far as what
yeah, you say he broke the laws of the Constitution. What did he break?
I said he's not loyal to the Constitution because you got three separate branches of government,
Of course,
and
yeah, exactly.
there's no power. There's no power in the hands of one person in this country or one group of people in this country. Everything's split into three separate branches. So because we fought for that, Americans fought for that 200, 300, 500 years ago. They fought to be free of a king, a dictator, and all that. They didn't want that. So that's not supposed to be here. Now, I tell everybody the same thing. If that's what you want, go to another country and then see how you make out.
But
But
he
we
has
don't do that here.
power of executive orders.
Executive orders, they still, but
That's
when you, okay, when you,
that's part
all
of
right,
the
well, let me
government.
educate. Before I go, let me educate everybody watching, everybody in America. Executive orders, they are a thing. But once the president passes an executive order, Congress has to vote on it and say, yes, this is a thing. Or Congress can say, no, this is not a thing. But because when everybody went in that booth and voted, and instead of just putting, okay, I want Trump to be president, or wait a minute, let me keep this joker in check. And for Senate and Congress, I'm going to vote Democrat, Democrat. I don't care who they are. So now you give everybody in America a fighting chance because now he can say executive order, and then now now this is where it gets scary. All of these Republicans are so loyal to him, they look at him like he's a king or a dictator. Oh, you're not loyal to the president. We don't want you here. When we start this, you're loyal to
Yeah.
the Constitution. You're
Uh,
not loyal to the president. You're loyal to the Constitution. You take an oath to be loyal to the Constitution of the United States of
that's
America.
what a free country is.
That's what a free country is. And
But
we have freedom of
but
speech. You
then,
suppress the press, that's freedom of speech. The press can't talk about you. If you're a public figure, you're going to be under public scrutiny.
but
That's just
still,
what it is.
the previous administration did the exact same thing. They just covered it up with dumb shit so you can't really see it. This guy is just letting you know straight out, this is what we're doing. Boom, boom. See what I'm saying? There's a difference. You can be in the closet about your sneaky shit, or you can be out front breaking it down to people.
Trust me, bro. If Trump's telling you all this, imagine what he's not telling you.
I mean, that's every president.
Yeah.
That's every president.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
government. But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, I always look at it as a point of, okay, I see the play. Now, the only play he has left is to exterminate those federal taxes on working wages. He ain't I mean on living wages, the wages we work for as a worker, as a citizen. He didn't say nothing about corporations. That's totally different tax. Which, you know what I'm saying? We get more money in our pockets, we tend to spend more. It'll iron out. So all those figures that went up $3, if you're saving on all your taxes, you can making more money, you're gonna ignore those prices automatically. Because you got more money in your account. You got more money in your paycheck. So he's playing that game. You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
Yeah,
well, we've already lost. Well, then if that's the truth, real talk, then why have we lost, what is it, $5 trillion in 2 days?
5 trillion.
So in 2 days, the US lost $5 trillion in 48 hours. That's what, 2.5 trillion a day?
Okay.
Today's Saturday, so we won't even trade. I
Biden
can't
lost
wait to see what the market's gonna look like on Monday. I can't wait to see what the market
lost
look like on Monday.
128 trillion.
Well, nobody trades on the weekend, so we'll see by the time Monday
No,
gets
I'm
here.
not even talking about trade. I'm talking about literally 128 trillion has been lost under the
Well,
previous
man.
administration.
Well, I
Not
get we might top that. We might top that in the next
Guys,
4 years
we
and
are
it's gonna
definitely
be
not
more.
having a conversation
no,
about the
But
fucking Trump
but
administration
it's
versus the
based upon
fucking
the
Biden
strategies
administration.
of what's
We're
going.
not doing that.
But it's
no, we're
based
not.
on
No,
the
we're not.
strategy that's what's going on. We're talking about tariffs. We're talking about tariffs.
Let's keep it on
You're
toy
looking
tariffs.
at the game and how it's going to be played. This is what I foresee happening. This is his only play to
Well,
get
let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Let's just keep it a buck. Do you think that because of these tariffs, do you think that some toy companies will go under because of it? Do you think that some toy companies will not be able to survive this tariff onslaught?
Well, yeah, small
okay,
ones surely will definitely be hurt. But
okay. Yeah, the ones who gave you quality and
And
had
and
that
that's another
I
thing.
don't think
That's another
Hasbro is
thing
going to
too,
be
Raw
hurt.
Talk. That's another thing too, Raw Talk. Do you think the quality of toys will go down for some companies just to try to stay in business and compete?
the quality has
Actually,
been
I
going
think the contrary. I think the contrary. I think toy makers focus on value now that, and quality amid the tariffs. Because think about it, where they skimped on quality before, where they could have, maybe spent a little more time on something or whatever. Now they know motherfuckers are paying a little more, so they're gonna do a little better. I
okay.
hope.
Well, the guy from Marvel said the plastic was the same on the maximum as everything else.
Well,
So
we know that's not true because we saw. I mean, at least for the Hulk, that's a totally different plastic. They
Yeah,
they
that
made
is
a
a totally different
they made
plastic.
a whole new squishy chest so that his arms could
well,
clap
yeah,
together and shit. Like, I
and
mean, they're
Yeah.
doing
after
different
10
shit.
Yeah.
after
Well,
10 years,
and Tom McFarlane even said,
That
like,
Hulk
I think he
motherfucker's
called
bad.
it,
I'm just excited about that
yeah,
Hulk.
he called it a butterfly chest or something
but
like
Yeah,
that. And he
but
said they started with Wolverine. When they
yeah,
did the Wolverines, they started doing that, and now they're putting it on all of them.
but
Now, do you
no,
now
not the
now Raw
butterfly
Talk?
chest.
You
No, no,
now
no,
wait a
no.
minute, Raw.
They made the rubber of his chest squishy so that he could
Oh, the front
squish
front
together.
part. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
it's
yeah
so you
yeah
can do
yeah yeah.
the Hulk
No, I'm
crack.
talking about the joint. I'm talking about the joints on the. I'm talking about the
you're
joints
talking
on the
about the
shoulders.
butterfly joints on the shoulder.
But
Yeah,
what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
yeah, yeah. He said they started putting.
I
But
just say
here's
you're talking
another
about
one.
that
Here's one for you
type of
too.
plastic.
Here's one for you too, Raw Talk. You collect mostly in. All right, so you collect a lot of the O-ring Joes.
yeah.
Now, do you think that that's gonna affect the price of O-rings
What
moving
tariff?
forward?
No,
Yeah,
How?
yeah.
no, it won't.
Well, because
They're already
now, because listen,
created. They're already
because
manufactured and created.
some people might say, well, look, since I can't collect this, I'm just gonna collect this because this is already here. Now, do you think that?
Oh, you
Can
think
you
more
see
people are
people?
gonna jump on the
Yeah, you
Oh
think
O-ring?
more
yeah,
people
I mean,
jump
if
right,
you
and
do
then
it
they'll
right,
raise their
Yeah,
prices.
on domestic shit that's already over
Yeah,
here, toys
I
that are
mean,
already
yeah,
here,
I got
vintage
a whole
toys,
thing that's like $300 already
right?
for the
Yeah,
tariff. It doesn't matter.
yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, you're not gonna go. You're not gonna be like, oh, McFarlane's charging $3 more, so fuck that. I'm gonna go spend 500 on Snake Eyes. No, that's not
No,
happening.
that's not gonna
nah, that ain't happening. Nah, but I do see people migrating to different collections now because they're saying, well,
happen.
these are expensive and these aren't, so I'm just going to knock these off while I can until these go down.
I think the people who are collecting will be collecting regardless,
Yeah,
but the volume of their collection will shrink. So they're not
yeah,
gonna buy 5 figures at once. They'll buy one or two, and
yeah. Or
hopefully
for me, yeah,
others
like I'm.
go to alleys.
Yeah, and I'm streaming down like not because I never bought doubles. I never bought multiples of figures. I don't see the point. I mean I do have
Nah, I
a
don't see the
couple
point either. Yeah.
I got a couple like Storm Shadow because he's all white and I took him out of the package and since that white tends to yellow over time, some of my Marvel Legends, I say, you know what? I'm gonna keep a couple of them in the box. So like that, I got some Storm Shadows in the box. Like if there's a reason I'll buy two for that reason. If I need to keep one in the box because I'm an out of the box collector, I like to take them out of the box, pose them, and put them on the shelf.
Look at
But
this. The
this,
body you
this
talk about the
But with
squish.
that, with that, guys, I gotta break out, man. I'm
No doubt.
sorry, guys. I'll be in the chat.
all right,
But
fam.
before I go, the only one I gotta buy doubles of or triples of is bats. I don't understand, but when they come a new bat, I gotta buy it,
I dig it.
especially if they're
Batman.
different. Especially no, the
Oh,
bats from G.I. Joe.
Bat.
Yeah, yeah, Battle
Yeah,
Android
yeah,
Troopers. Yeah, especially if they're a different color.
yeah.
I don't know why I'm addicted to buying bats. I
Yeah,
don't know. Call me
that's
weird. Call me weird, but I like bats.
no doubt.
I can't wait for the new. I can't wait for the new retro bat to come out, man. I'm excited about the retro bat.
with
But
the regular front they supposed to have.
yeah, and like he's got a clear thing and fucking he's more bright yellow, like the colors are more accurate to the original.
That
So I like that's what I'm about. I like the original. I want him to look more vintage.
yeah. But this Hulk,
But
like
this
I'm saying, that squishy chest or whatever, they
yeah.
say, oh, it matches perfectly with the color. Yeah.
You think it's gonna be off?
Oh, it's gonna be off in 12 years when you look at your
Oh,
collection and that plastic degrades differently.
yeah. Yes.
So you're gonna have
That's
a different color,
yeah, I
regardless.
agree, man.
Not
I think
now,
that
later.
right. Now, hey, maybe they didn't came up with some shit that they know isn't gonna change over time. But I don't know. I think over an eventual amount of time, like maybe not 10 years, but maybe 20,
Mm.
definitely gonna change. Something gonna happen.
That body, it looks like they really ripped off Marvel Select, if you really look at it. Because that's still,
Nah.
to me, that's still that Marvel Select Hulk is the Hulk. Look at the hair on
He
that.
looks more like the Legends Hulk to me. Let me see.
Look at go get your Marvel Select Hulk. You got the Marvel Select one?
I don't have a select because I hate select. I don't like Marvel selects at all because
All right,
they're always too
hold on.
stiff
I'll
and
be
shit.
right back. I'll get a Marvel Select.
But I mean, he's basically the same as this one. Let me
I'm gonna
pull it
show
up.
you the Marvel Select Hulk.
Like same exact legs. I think they even use the same legs.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they just put this new chest piece is now gonna be this rubber shit instead of this. Which this one has a nice. These butterflies in the back are almost good enough, but still, that he still can't do a full clap. But yeah, no, I mean he could never do a thunderclap with this chest. They had to do that rubber chest. It's the only way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's I think it's fucking risky as fuck.
Yeah.
But you know, hey, I can't wait to see it. I'm definitely gonna get one.
So if anybody's seen the, because I was gonna go and get it until I thought it's all deep in my garage. But if
Oh,
y'all had the Marvel Select that Hulk, you look at it and you put it next to this, it's the same damn figure. The hair structure on that Hulk, that Hulk face
it's
is
the
similar.
same leg.
Yeah, it's like it's crazy.
The legs are the same. This is the Legends Hulk.
Yeah, that's the Legends Hulk.
They reuse the legs for sure. Like even the jeans are the same. Let me see here. Hang on a
But it,
second.
so you're paying for that rubber part and the effects,
Right.
basically for the price tag that they pushing out for that. Same body, just a different rubber piece for the top,
It
and
won't
the
even let me put this piece over here. Oh, my bad. It
you
won't
know,
let me, there we go.
you know what I mean. So it's like, okay, we'll do a little change up here. We'll color them up just like the Marvel Select Hulk. We make them more bright, more energy, more energized. I mean, and we'll give them 3 separate heads, which are the 3 goofiest fucking heads I ever seen in my life.
I really hate the heads.
The
I
heads
really
are
hate the heads.
atrocious.
They're that's supposed to be Diodato, I think he said, and then this screaming head, I forget who he said that was. I'm not a fan of any of these heads.
Yeah,
I'll definitely do the big teeth one. That's the only
the
one I'm
veneer
gonna have.
Hulk, the Hulk
This
with
one,
the new veneers.
yeah, horse teeth
That looks
Hulk.
crazy. Now, if you look at the Marvel Select Hulk, his face is definitely better.
Yeah,
His two, the 2 heads. He has a cyborg head and a regular head.
yeah.
So it's like, come on, they could have did better. But here we go again. Marvel, they're giving you
Oh
this remix, but they want to charge you tariff prices for shit they already got in the States.
no, dog. Look, it's literal reuse. This is exactly the same legs.
Yes.
Even the holes are in the exact same place on the jean.
Yeah.
These jeans have a white outline, you see,
Mm-hmm.
on the new one, but these don't. Or the jeans, the pants. But yeah, the holes are in the same place. The wrinkles are exactly in the same place. These are identical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just a reuse of the marble mold, probably the same plastic. And if it's maximum because it comes with more accessories, I don't fucking need that. First of all, I have a box of accessories that I never use.
Mm-hmm.
Me, once I display my figure, it's pretty much it. I don't do a lot of, oh, I'm gonna change heads today. Today I'm gonna go change hands. Like they're on the shelf. Like I got a box of I got a bag of hands, a bag of heads, and a bag of shit that I'm never gonna really use. I mean, the amount maybe one day I'll be like, oh, I want to like change something up and I'll change it up. Maybe. But I'm a very much I know what I like kind of person. And like I got it up how I like it. Like I'm not gonna want to change it. That's just how I am. So all this extra shit I don't need. The figure has to be more valuable. Like the figure has to be more valuable.
And it's
More
not, and all they gave you is a rubber chest.
yeah, well, hey, I mean, I'm gonna wait and see before I totally damn it because I haven't seen the Spider-Man or this. I heard the opposite. I heard that the Spider-Man plastic was different, but you heard that it was the same.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. I'll wait and see.
From
But
Ryan Ting. From Ryan
yeah,
Ting. He said it himself. It wasn't nothing different about the
yeah,
plastic
I
itself.
believe it. I believe it. I mean, which I mean, the new Legends plastic is different than the old Legends plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, even the Marvel Legends plastic has changed. The regular Marvel Legends plastic has changed. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little bit of a different or better grade, but how much different or better do we really need it? I don't know.
Also,
I have Mafex and I have Legends, and the Mafex have better joints, but like the plastic is plastic. I mean, plastic is plastic.
yeah. But I just think, man, if they're overpricing and saying maximum. Yeah, because you're paying the maximum price. Paying the maximum because you're doing maximum shit. You're
Yeah,
giving people reuse and you're juggling shit and making people think that they're getting something new. And
it's
then not
crazy.
really. Now let's say for instance that rubber piece, okay, you get some weirdo that want to play with his shit all the time or pose him.
Right,
What prevents it from splitting?
right.
Will it split? Will the plastic get hard in certain temperatures and then it starts cracking? If they tested that, cool. If they didn't test it,
We'll see. We're
yeah,
gonna find out, and people really gonna be pissed. I mean, they I hope they tested it, man, because that right there will roast this line. If this fucking chest ends up being a different color, it feels a different tone, or ends up fading after a couple of fucking months, like or cracking, whatever, it's gonna be a huge problem. But
exactly.
my thing is like I first saw this Spider-Man and I'm like, okay, it has a new kind of hands that we've never seen before. We've never seen web shooters. We've never seen shit coming out of the hands. We never seen a spider sense thing for his head. We never had a little stand for the web shooters. But when I think of all that stuff put
There's the
together,
wall crawling hands. My fault.
yeah.
Sorry.
But when I
That's the
put all,
main shit.
but when I put all the extra shit together and put it in a pile, it amounts to a little tiny pile of fucking plastic that's worth about 50 cents. And I think what they did was they realized that these prices are about to be going up. And so here's how we can kind of seem like ours aren't because like, oh, now it's going to be maximum prices. Well, but we're giving you all this extra shit. So they probably scrambled like, let's come up with a bunch of extra little trinkets and throw it in the fucking box and tell them it's maximum series.
Yep. And watch. And then they'll do that for a year, and then that maximum will fade away and it'll be the standard.
Standard.
And at that time, your figures will be $35 to $50
Crazy.
on a regular.
Crazy. The new monkey wrench, I love it. I will definitely be chroming the grenades out because the original monkey wrench has chrome grenades and I need them chrome grenades. I'll be chroming out the shades and the chains and shit like that, and his trident gun and his pistol and his axes, his tomahawks. That mask thing, it looks interesting. I won't ever use it. That's what I'm saying. Like he's got this other head. It's not a head, it's a mask with a wig. It's got
Yeah.
like hair and like a face mask thing, and it goes over his head. And I'm it's a really cool idea, but I don't really see the fucking point, because when am I ever using that? And then they have this, but then they have this other cool thing here. He's got like a scarf around his neck, and what's next to
That's
it looks like
yeah.
and what's next to it looks like a bandana that would be tied around his face.
Yeah.
So it's like he can have a bandana around his face. That's very cool. Like, I've never seen that on a figure. Like, that's an interesting thing. I'm
And the
excited for that.
scarf is the what you call it, scarf, the Zartan, or the
Yeah, it looks like the one that Tunnel Rat has too. But yeah, you're right. Probably Zartan. Yeah. Yeah, it's the Zartan one. Yeah. But the face thing I never seen before. Major Blood. He's got a new joint system. He's got a pinless elbows and shoulders. So they give him new joints. So he's not a total reuse, just a total repaint. But he does have pretty much similar. I mean, he's definitely the same head. I think it's the same legs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah. Where's my Major Blood? Oh yeah, and definitely like the same chain and looks like backpack and missiles. The pistol looks similar. Yeah, but you know, it's red. It's you know, I'm definitely gonna still cop it.
But they had a retro carded one that's a regular box one, right?
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
And then last but definitely not least, everybody's favorite armored Cobra Commander.
Yeah.
It'll look way better in a better in action pose.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of looks plain standing there, but I think it's gonna look really good. Comes with another head that has reptile eyes.
Yeah.
And then he's got the Serpentor iguana.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Looks cool. Looks
Yeah. Then we got the glider. Comes with a figure that has 3 different heads and a removable helmet piece. So if you wanted to get 4 of these, you could literally have 4 different looking characters flying them. So that's cool.
makes sense.
Yeah, because this is definitely a troop builder. I am not a troop builder personally. I don't, again, really see the point in it, because I can't really display all that, and like what am I doing? Like, I know as a little kid, like when I was a kid, all I wish so bad that I had a whole bunch of Cobra Troopers, but I only had fucking one.
Yeah.
Like a lot of us, we had one Cobra Trooper. Like, that was it.
Yeah, one officer, one trooper, one
Crimson Guard, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One bat,
Mm-hmm.
all that shit. But I wanted always a troop of them.
Yeah.
But as a grown up, like, I'm not playing with them, so I don't really see the point. I can't display these troops. I've seen a lot of troop builder guys, they'll have big tables and shit, like, laid out with the army stood up. But even then,
what for, man?
They're dominoes. They're standing up. Literally, I seen a guy stand up 130 some odd Vipers or some shit, and he stands them all up, and they're about an inch apart, so they're just standing all in a row. And I'm like, bro, I know you'd have knocked that shit down a bunch of times trying to stand that shit up, to the point that I would have been like, fuck this. Because like, even trying to put my shelves up, I do dominoes all the time. One figure drops and the whole shelf comes down. Everybody knows that. Yeah, so true builders is crazy, but hey, to each his own.
I'll work with that shit, man, because it's like the maximum on my troop builder would probably be like 5 figures for each soldier, 5 each, and that's
for me.
Nice little scene for my O-rings, of course, you know what I mean, because they're smaller,
right?
But for you guys that's into the 6-inch realm, dudes that buy like 10, 20 of,
that's crazy.
Like, mad nasty.
10, 20. I know a guy that has 100 Vipers. He's got 100 troopers. He's got 100
nasty work. And
that's
for
crazy.
what? Like, what do you want?
Spending thousands of dollars for no reason?
and you take that one picture, okay, you post it. Are you taking pictures all the time? No, I unless you're a photog that's supposed, that's your job and your hobby and shit like
Yeah,
that. You love doing that. Yeah, you can get busy.
yeah.
But for your normal GI Joe head, I don't know. You spending $5,000 on the troop builder.
That's insane.
That's why eBay and Macari and all these other places is over flooded, and the price
Yeah,
of the Joes went down
yeah,
because everybody figured, oh man, they got over the hype, and
yeah,
they're trying to sell to get some of their money back.
yeah. Because now they want these new characters, and they got
Yeah,
8 Vipers for what? I
exactly.
always laughing at cats. I'm like, why? And when the whole eel thing happened, everybody's buying all these eels. Like, what are you doing with all these eels,
You
bro?
you in the bathtub with these motherfuckers, man?
You know what I'm saying? Dude was like, I got 10. And I'm like,
For what?
for what? You can't tell me that you're displaying 10 eels somewhere because, and if you are, you don't have all the characters because like it's hard. Like this is a lot. That's a lot of room.
A
That's
whole
all this whole little shelf right here. That's all GI Joe. That's all classified.
Yeah, that's crazy. Wow, room. If you army building, you're gonna need a whole bedroom for that shit.
Dog. And you know, I think I got the Cobra Troopers. It's cool because they made like 3 different versions.
Yeah,
So I have 3 troopers down there chilling, you know what I'm saying, around the Stinger, which has another version, the gray version.
yeah,
Let me see. You can see this bottom square right here with you can see the MMS missiles, the red missiles or whatever. But
yeah,
that's the Stinger, and there's like a bunch of troopers like milling around and shit, and then you got the gray one standing there, and then I got the retro one, which
yeah.
I left,
Yeah,
in the package because the card looks fucking awesome as fuck.
yeah,
I love how that card shit looks. Looks like an OG, card backs. So those are all. I love them retros.
yeah. So it's like one. That's all you need is. I mean, if you go beyond 5, I mean, even with 6 inch, if you go beyond 3, because I can't lie, well, at one time, I had 3 Crimson Guards. That's
Yeah,
what I got. That, and then I had Vipers, but I had only one loose. And I sold the rest. I sold while the selling was good.
right,
Right now the selling is shit because now people are
right.
realizing, like I said, oh man, I bought too much. I need to get this shit down. So yet you paid $20 for the fig. Now you got to sell it for $8 to $10. I mean, you're getting something back, but did you really get the use that you wanted to out of those figures?
Yeah, hell no.
Because I look at that like, what's the use? Like, you see my stuff here with the O-rings. I got a ton of them, but I have
Yeah,
certain uses for them, and they're
right,
not army builders. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And
Everything individual.
yeah. I'll set them on different vehicles, and I'm good. They can display that way. You know, but nah, they, I don't know. People going crazy, man. And I used to be of the mind, I ain't gonna say I wasn't part of it. I was a part of it with the 6 inch, but I
Mhm.
was of the mind. Let me get one open and have one box. I'm like, what am I having the other one box for? Like, I it, I woke up.
Yeah,
Oh, I really woke up from that. Why am I keeping one on ice
yeah,
to sell it when I'm 80? These shit's
right,
gonna be worth a motherfucking thing when I'm 80.
right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying? If I even get to 80 or whatever the fuck.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I mean, the only reason why these Araz, these American Hero O-rings are worth something because we had it when we were little,
that's
and
it.
they are the true nostalgia pieces.
Right.
Now, the 6 inches, although design great,
Yeah,
detail great, articulation great,
it's nostalgia
esque.
esque.
You know what I'm saying? It triggers you back to the original.
Yes.
But if you're thinking that you're gonna get your real kick off that one, you can hold the O-ring in your hand and be like, yo, I remember I had this. I remember I was eating some cake and the motherfucker fell in my ice cream. I remember that day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But you can't say that about the 6-inch. You gotta hold the 6-inch. Yo, I love the
Right.
design. That's all you can say about it. I love
That's all
the
you can say. That's all you can say. Oh man, it looks just like the original.
yeah. But I mean,
But
I don't
like
fall
I
on
got the
stuff.
Croc Master, and then I got the real Croc Master.
See?
And you know, the new classified Croc Master is amazing.
Oh hell yeah. Hell yeah.
But it don't give me the vibe that the OG one does.
Yeah,
And,
that
you know,
exactly. Because you can really envision when you was a child playing with it. Like, yo, I remember we took the blankets and off our beds, dropped it on the floor and made it a Cobra Mountain. And now we put the figures in the crevices of the Cobra Mountain. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. We was down by the fucking what was it? They had this big ass it wasn't a creek, it was a ditch. It was like for weather to channel
Yeah,
the water and
the
shit.
channel, the water channel, the running.
Rainwater and shit, yeah. But you know, for us city kids, like that was the wilderness.
Yeah.
Making cliff fucking caves and shit on the side. Like, yeah, like that, you know, that's the memories, man. That's why we do this shit, really. So I would trade all this shit for O-rings if I could, but nobody's gonna do that because the O-rings are more valuable because they're real vintage toys. And you know, my thing is I see no reason in keeping toys in a package if they're not vintage. Because like you said, when is this ever gonna be vintage? Kids of today aren't playing with these 6 inches. So adults of tomorrow aren't going to see them as, you know, hell of valuable collectibles.
Yeah, man.
So there you go. You know what I'm saying? EGC, what up?
Yo,
Peace, y'all hear me?
peace. Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed.
Oh wow, it works.
Yeah.
Now I start to hop
It
on real
works.
quick. Don't mind me, y'all. How y'all doing?
All right. You chilling.
All right.
Talking about the nostalgia and the tariffs and everything involved in collecting. Why people doing all these army building stuff. Now people are realizing that the hype is. I like I say, the hype is over. The hardcore collectors are going to keep collecting. But the hype for the fair weather collector is over. They're realizing,
Yeah.
oh, I jumped into some shit that I really didn't know was this real.
Right.
It's
This
real.
is a real investment. This is
Yeah,
a real investment. Like
for a collector,
you
yeah.
can't do
Big
this
time.
and some other shit. Yeah, like this takes your money up, bro. You're not doing this and you a mountain climber. Like you can't have hella hobbies. This is an expensive hobby. It's like, you know, some people trick out their car stereos. That's
Yeah.
their hobby. It's an expensive hobby.
Like
I don't mean you just have a system. I mean the back of your car got a new fiberglass molded fucking speaker wall in it type shit. That's an expensive hobby. You
yeah,
can't do that and this unless you
exactly.
fucking
Like
hella rich.
with my collection, I always tell guys who buy the modern stuff. I was like, you can buy all the modern you want. You can sell your collection. Can you buy a BMW when you do that, or Mercedes? With my
Right.
collection, that's why I collect the vintage. I stopped and I took note and I collect the vintage. I sell this, I could buy a BMW truck if I want to.
Yeah. Easy.
You know what I mean? But I'm a hardcore collector of the O-ring, so I love it. I'm not gonna, but I'm just
You
saying,
know?
you got to look at the value of things. Hype gets people. I mean, before everybody had a great time. It was the pandemic. Everybody was shut in. Everybody was looking for something to get into. So they reverted back. Oh, let me get into this toy collecting. Then
Mhm.
a lot of hype got down with it. Then you get a lot of scalpers with it. Then you get the craze was wild from 2019 to 2022, I would say. Then it
Yeah.
started dying because people woke up from that fog and said, "Yo, what the fuck have I done? I spent
Especially with COVID.
Yeah, I spent fifteen to
Yeah.
$20,000 on action figures that I really don't get a chance to even connect with."
Right. They sitting in a box somewhere in a bin.
Yeah, buyer's remorse. That's what's happening now. And with
Yeah.
these tariffs, it's going to be even more remorse for companies to try to convince you that these products have some worth now. That's what they're
Yeah.
doing. So in order to get you to pay for their product so they can cover their tariffs and keep their company afloat, they got to say you're getting value for the dollars that we're charging you. All of a sudden, you
Mm-hmm.
care about what we want. All of a sudden, you care about the value because before that, you didn't give a fuck. You was just selling here. You're gonna buy it anyway. We don't care. You're gonna buy it. But now people are sitting back like, yo, I'm not gonna go all out like I used to. So now they come with the thing
Mm-hmm.
quality. Keep the game, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. This guy says, how will the potential toy tariff affect your collecting habit? This is just people, this is just a McFarlane figures collector. He says, hang on. EGC,
Dude,
are you eating popcorn or something, man?
no.
Is that your
Just some
mic? That's your
feedback.
mic? Yeah, it's like crackling and
Maybe. Hold on.
popping.
It's probably
It
rubbing
sound
against
like
your collar or something.
Oh, okay. It sound like
Nah, I'm
corn
not doing
crispy.
anything. I'm just sitting here.
Nah,
Oh,
I'm just sitting here.
sound
Hold
like
on. Let
Rice
me mute it.
Krispies.
all right. Oh, he got it. He
Yeah,
muted.
it went away there. Yeah, yeah. It sound like Rice Krispies.
Yeah, man.
When you first pour the milk on, that bitch start crackling and snapping.
Yeah. For
But he
Saturday.
said the new U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has made it clear that he plans to heavily tax imported goods. The numbers thrown around are 20 to 60%, with all Chinese imports being the most heavily taxed. Yes, this means the price of many of the action figures we collect may increase significantly. Here's the gist of how tariffs work. Oh, okay. So if you don't know, here's a graph. Foreign manufacturer produces goods to be sold in the U.S. Worldwide Shoes produces a variety of sneakers, dress shoes, and sandals outside of the U.S. Boom. Shoes are shipped to the U.S. where they face a tariff. The U.S. places a 20% tariff on each pair of shoes or action figure. The companies based in the U.S. pay the tariff on to the U.S. Treasury.
Mhm.
So Hasbro, an American company that purchases toys from a company in China that produces toys, they pay for the total cost of the imported toy plus the tariff.
The tax. Let's say tax.
So
Is
it's like a tax. So the 20, the $100 or the $25 action figure now costs 30. Well, let's make it easy. The $100 action figure now costs $120 basically.
Mhm.
So then boom. It says U.S. company has a few options to make up for its increased costs. One, the company can eat the cost of the tariff. So Hasbro decides to keep the price it changes for its toys the same. Hasbro is making a smaller profit and may have less money to pay its workers or invest in expansion, for example. Make new figure lines and shit like that. Two, the company passes along some of the cost of the tariff to the buyer. So Hasbro raises the price of the toys by an extra couple dollars, covering the half of the cost of the whole cost that they're paying.
Mhm.
Or three, the company passes along the cost of the tariff to the buyer, the whole cost. So Hasbro raises the price of the toy, the whole $20 that its tariff is paying. So they can raise it a little bit, eat some of it, and that's how they should do, or they can make us pay the whole thing. Either way, 2 or 3, we pay a higher price. So on store shelves, the toys are a few more dollars than they did cost before the tariff was put in place, is the bottom line.
Mhm.
So there you go. That's how tariffs work. My man says the bit concerning us toy aficionados is how the companies importing the merchandise handle this added cost, whether it's McFarlane Toys or Walmart or BBTS, Big Bad Toy Store. They would have to pay the tax. And historically, when that happens, ultimately companies pass that cost on to us, the consumers. For this reason, it's reasonable to assume that if these tariffs come into effect, we may see our toy prices rise by as much as 60%, since Chinese goods could be the most affected by these tariffs. In the US, we pay like $20 for a McFarlane 7-inch figure. That means if McFarlane retailers decide to pass that cost on to us, the prices could raise to $32 per figure and $48 for something like collector edition figures. Our members outside the US likely pay even more. It should be noted, companies like Joy Toy, a foreign company based entirely overseas, may be impacted a lot more than McFarlane Toys, a domestic company who has goods manufactured in China. There may be loopholes, it says, like having parts manufactured in China but assembled in Vietnam, like Mattel does. In the face of this Armageddon, we are collecting have it be compromised. My man said, if this were to happen, I would definitely have to bow out. It's hard enough finding figures I want locally or trying to snag pre-orders on anticipated stuff before they're unavailable. Yeah, I mean, that's how some people are feeling. My man says, on the action figure subreddit, someone showed an infographic from Yahoo Finance saying specifically toys imported from China could have up to 120% tariff on them. That's it's bullshit. That's not going to happen. He says, I don't know exactly how that applies, but as I understand, the tariffs applied to the cost of the goods, i.e. how much it will cost to buy in the U.S. So a $20 action figure would be $44. I fully admit I am no expert. Well, that's 120%. Or they're not going to jack it up like that. A $20 action figure is going to be $23. That's what it's really.
Well, we can't really say that because look at
that's what it is right now.
Yeah, but look at
That's
what
what
Big
it is
Bag
right
Toy
now.
Store is doing. Like they're jumping up the price. They're price gouging like crazy. And then now, if we go back to the manufacturer, okay, we forget how much these figures actually cost to
Right.
produce. So these may be they may bring it up to $32 a figure, but does it still cost them $1.25 to make?
Right.
So
Exactly.
they can't eat the cost. The companies, no, they're greedy. They're never going to eat the cost.
We're not cutting into we're cutting into their profit margin.
Exactly. It's not.
And they're not willing to take a little profit loss.
Nope, they're not. Even though they lay off people here and there and everywhere, they're still not going to take, because they're beholden to their stockholders. They're beholden to their corporate higher ups that want those bonuses. Then they're not going to do it. So the only recourse for the people, and this is just wishful thinking, is don't buy the shit.
Yeah.
Let them stew. Let them feel it. Like, oh shit, nobody's buying our shit no more. Oh, we gotta lower prices. Yeah, then we gotta go over here. We gotta go to China and tell them lower your motherfucking prices if y'all want to get anything, because they don't understand this shit. One motherfucking mouth feeds another. So if
everybody gonna have to take a little hit.
Yeah. Now that goes to a grander scale. So now y'all got to go to y'all politicians everywhere in every country. Like, look, this is affecting everybody's way of life. Let's get this shit handled properly, please, where we can coexist and everybody can be fine. That's all it is. And that's what he's doing. He's forcing everybody to see the real big picture here.
Yeah.
We all got to level out. It's going to be some pain, but there's got to be some common sense, because for every 10 million their imports coming in, they have over 10 million people being employed. We only have 200,000 of ours being employed with our exports to other countries. We're taking a loss employment wise. We're taking a loss on every account. You know what I'm saying? But overseas, they're the producers. So when you're a producer, you make more the lion's share at the end of the day. So and all this stuff is at the end of the day. And if we want to get really real about this stuff, this is nothing but a luxury. To have a collection, to be able to pay for a collection and maintain it is a luxury. It's not a necessity.
Absolutely.
It's this is
Nah, people, and
luxury.
but that's what I'm showing y'all here is because that's what people are doing. They're like, fuck it. They're like, I'm out.
Yeah,
If that happens, if these prices go up like that, I'm out. Like, I'm of course. First of all, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna pay $40 for fucking McFarlane figures. They're not.
no
So, you better keep that shit 20 something or that's a wrap.
shit. I was out after the $15 was up. Remember he had
Shit, I wasn't even I didn't even know they was 15.
They
I
was
think they was always they was 19 when I
they
started
were
buying them.
15.99 in Walmart for a time, and then because he always bragged about I'm 15.99. Everybody else went from 19.99
Right.
to 22.99. What he was still 15 until he jumped it up to 20,
Yeah.
and then 24 or what have you.
Yeah.
But he was 15. After
Right.
that, I was like, hold up, let me chill, let me step. Nah, I ain't doing this. Especially when I got a
I just
full
paid
figure.
30 for the damn McFarlane.
Nah, nah. So
Mm-hmm.
that was it. I was out, and then
Yeah, I
same
mean they're
thing.
like 27 now.
Same thing with Marvel Legends and Classified because I was collecting everything, bro. At one time, I had like I said, I had a whole toy store in my house,
Yeah.
literally.
Well, I
So
mean, I just do I just do classified legends and multiverse because they're the three lower end, cheaper lines that I think look the best for the money.
check this out.
Um,
I'm gonna tell you what I was doing. I did. I was doing the GI Joe's classifieds. I was doing the McFarlane's, right? I was also
mhm,
doing the NECA. I was also doing Transformers. I was also everything you can name of in a 6 inch and above. I was doing all of that. He-Man, Masters, every Masters of the Universe, the origins and their multiverses, the Masterverse. I was doing that.
mhm,
I was doing all sorts of shit, man. I
mhm.
was going banana. I think I spent over about $60,000, bro. Literally,
I believe it.
I went crazy. I went
I know.
crazy, right? But I
Yep.
turned it around and made
Yep.
120 selling the shit back at a certain time or close to 120. Because I was like, oh, I realized I was out of control.
Yeah.
So I had to sell
I
this
mean
shit off.
this
And then I poured that money.
yeah,
What you see now, my true love and happiness, which is the O rings.
the O-rings, yeah.
So I just pivot at a
This
certain time.
all this
Yo, yo,
that's
that's
that's 5 years.
that's Toy Store. Yeah, you got a
That's
toy.
a toy. I mean, but
Yeah,
it's that shit took 5 years. You know what I mean? Like you
Nope.
can't just run out and buy it. You know what I mean? It
yeah,
took 5 years. But when I think about it, that's still a little bit of time. Like most people with something like this, they've been doing this shit 20 years and shit.
yeah.
But I went nuts.
Well,
I went really nuts.
so now when we go back to the tariffs, people will be cutting back extremely. If the prices go up, cutbacks are coming, and
Or
these
completely. Yeah.
yeah, and these companies they're gonna feel it the worst because technically we don't have to buy their shit. We don't. I mean, if we want to get real technical, we don't
Yeah.
have to
I
buy
mean,
this shit. We could just buy a DVD of GI Joe, Batman '89, and all that shit, and still enjoy our youth through that shit.
yep. Yep. Yep.
We don't need to
Straight
have
up.
the shit on the shelves. Really, we
Fucking Nintendo.
don't. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Nintendo. I mean, we already got what we got.
Hmm.
I'm cool with that, bro. Honestly, if I never was able to buy another figure again, I'd be okay. Like
Yeah,
I'm cool with this collection right here. If I had to quit, I'd be like, okay, this is my collection.
yeah.
Like I don't want it to be that way, but I'll be all right. Because already it is to the point like The only way I can expand now is to buy more shelves.
Yeah.
Like, shelves are an expense, and if you don't think shelves are expensive, go on fucking eBay or Amazon or anywhere and look at a shelf. Go look how much a shelf costs. It blew my mind. I thought shelves were like $30 or some shit.
Used to be.
No,
Used to be.
used to be maybe. Now,
Found out that
me,
collectors needed them.
I mean, a real shelf, like, these are cheap ass shelves. Like, these shelves don't even have backs. Like, these are just plastic stands with wood slats. They're fucking $25 at the fucking Big Lots or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They're not real. If I stomp on real hard, they'll fucking shake and fall over. Like, they're real fucking lightweight, because I'm not spending $150 on a fucking shelf when I could buy like 7 figures for that. Like, I don't, and that's one little shelf. That's one of these the size of that. A real shelf, like a real shelf, they're $100-something. So I'd need 1, 2, 3. I'd need at least 4 $150 shelves to match this area.
Mm-hmm.
So fuck that. I spend $25 and buy these little cheap plastic shits, and just be real careful walking around.
And here's the thing: we're just only talking about toys. We ain't even getting to the comic books, man.
No, the and that's I kind of slowed down on the comics. I really got more into the collecting of toys. I was all about comics for a while. I comic. That's all I fucked with. A couple of little toys here and there as like a what do you call it? Like a novelty. But something happened along, I think, around the time of G.I. Joe Classified happened. Really, to tell you the truth, that made me ramp up my Marvel Legends collection. Everything. I started buying all the figures because I got so into the classifieds, and I loved it so much. I'm like, damn, like, what else can I buy? Like, what else is like this? When I'm having to fill gaps,
Yeah.
in between the months when classified don't have a line out or a wave out.
I was gonna ask, EGC, what do you feel about the state of this whole tariff and the collectors, holding back or keep on, pushing with collecting?
Well, I know for me over here in Massachusetts, I'm not having any luck getting anything that I want. So the shelves are
Mm,
they're not producing anything, man. I
yeah.
just got a Bumblebee,
Mm.
but they were trying to like sell it to me for like 25.
Wow.
But I'm in this Transformer group. People are buying that joint for like $10. I said, I ain't taking this with no 25, man. So
Mm.
I had to go online. And that was just for a Bumblebee.
Dang.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's challenging over here.
Yeah.
So I know I'm not sure where y'all at. Are y'all
Oh,
in New York?
no, I'm in Virginia right now, but I gave up
Oh,
I'm in Jersey.
buying the toys from the store.
Mhm.
Don't
okay,
I
yeah, I
don't
noticed y'all always talk about ordering and stuff. So
pre-order. That's all I do. Pre-order. That's
Yeah.
it.
that's what I
Yeah.
started doing because I was collecting Turtles of Grayskull, and they don't sell any Turtles of Grayskull anymore. The last one I got there was Rocksteady and Bebop joint,
Wow.
and
It's way too hard to try to get the figures in the store. First of all, they don't send all the figures to the store. That's what annoys me. Like, you only send a few characters to this store and a few to that store. So
Mhm,
there's no way somebody in the neighborhood, in one neighborhood, can get all the whole collection from that Walmart or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's
right,
why, and my Walmart just doesn't even sell classifieds at all anymore.
Same here.
They haven't restocked the Marvel Legends since like Loki. There's
damn,
still like Lokis sitting there. They have a couple of old like, remember that Captain Cold page punchers that McFarlane did?
Yeah.
Like, that's still sitting in there. Like, shit from like 3 years ago, bro. Like it's
wow,
a shame, bro. I don't fuck around in the store anymore. It would be way too frustrating. I mean, you wouldn't be able to collect shit. And
right. I know there's some spots that like they're posting pictures of like dope stuff.
mhm,
I'm like, where y'all at?
yeah. Nah, you don't get that from the store. You got to order that. Like, and for me, I only do pre-orders because I'm not gonna pay the price, like, cause you can go on eBay and you go on Amazon and get all these figures, but you're paying a much increased price because somebody bought that from Hasbro and they're reselling it on eBay for twice the price.
Yeah.
But if you go directly to the Hasbro website and just order it, cool, you can get it for the regular, regular retail price. What happens though is if you're trying to get something that's popular or something that, is, real dope, that's just going to be sold out. If you don't get it,
You gotta be quicker than that.
yes, you have to be and you have to know, like we stalk the fucking internet to find out the dates and exact times that these figures are going up for pre-order. Because if you like, if you'll find out it's going up at 12 noon on the 15th, right? So you set your alarm for 11:55 or whatever. And you have to be fucking there at 11:59 watching that shit. As soon as that bitch turns 12, you go in there and you try to order that bitch right then, dog. I've seen shit sell out in 30 seconds.
I can
So,
imagine.
I mean, like, and if you don't get it, then you have to go to eBay because who bought it was a bunch of scalpers. That's who buys it up. They have bots and shit and they buy them all up and they resell them on eBay for twice the price. So I don't know who these people are that are going on eBay buying them that way, but hey, if that's what y'all are doing, you're not doing it right.
I have a brother who collects Pokemon cards, and he told me they're going crazy over those Pokemon cards. They're pushing kids out the way. They fighting each other. It's like,
Oh, that shit is that's a whole other level.
yeah. I'm like, oh, Pokemon cards.
That shit is
Damn.
insane. Talk about FOMO. Yeah, I couldn't get into that world, the card world.
Nah, I'm all set with that.
Yeah.
Respect
Opening
to those
packs,
that
not
collect,
knowing.
that makes them happy. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm all.
Hey,
They're
some
doing too
people
much.
like the fact of buying, like gambling, like buying a package, not knowing what's in it. It might be a bunch of bullshit. Like, hey, for me, I don't even like windowless packaging. I want to see the figure.
But in regards to collecting, also, all these prices are going up also because I think the companies know that children aren't buying toys anymore, or adults aren't buying toys for children anymore. They're buying toys for themselves.
Right.
I don't see any children. I mean, my kids, they play. I buy them some stuff. They play with it a little bit, but they're mostly into video games and manga and stuff like that. They're not really out there playing with toys. We're the only ones collecting them joints.
Exactly. This guy says, safe to say this 14-year-old is really happy for Christmas. Just some figures to add to his growing collection. I can't wait to play with them. Like, that's the dad bought all this shit. I mean, this kid's like, okay, cool, dad. Like, what's this kid really doing with this shit? Like, kids don't play with these figures, bro. Like,
That's
what's he
the
doing?
dad making excuses. That's
For real.
Right.
That's the dad wanting that stuff, and the son is like, "I'll stand here and take the picture."
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, that's the joke right there. So,
He's playing Minecraft or something.
Yeah.
It's a good time and a bad time, and the good time is people waking up realizing their overconsumption of things, and understanding what really matters at this point.
Right.
A lot of things is waking people up to what really truly matters. Do we keep consuming, or do we keep, or do we, curate ourselves? Use what's necessary and discard the rest. I think that's happening. The bad part about it will affect industry, it will affect jobs, it will affect all that, and sometimes, like they say, we're going into a reset. So in some aspects, and the reset is just another fanciful way to say new world order. That's basically what it is. They just say reset as it don't sound as sinister. So, but we got to realize that, yeah, you got to realize that, we've been over consuming.
Yeah.
We were the first. Our generation. I'll be 50 soon. Our generation were the first experimentees in consumption. The 80s.
Yeah.
Period.
Consumerism.
decade, yeah, consumerism, more
We
and
were
more.
raised in that shit. Our parents got sucked up in it. They tried to do it too, but that was our life. Like that was our childhood.
Yeah, we were
Yep.
with everything. We got
Think about it. Our this is what I grew up and I felt so betrayed when I found out that my GI Joe show and my Transformer show and my Thundercat show were just commercials for the toys.
yeah.
The whole cartoon I thought was just a show for me for entertainment was actually just to make me buy the toy. And
Mm-hmm.
like and when you rewatch the shows now, there's really no substance. They're just very two-dimensional. Like they're nothing like the comics, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
Like talking about GI Joe,
Hell no.
but yeah, like
ruthless.
yeah, bro. Like
Yeah, man.
I wish that Marvel made a cartoon about the comic, like the cartoon, like the comics were.
Yeah, man.
That
And
would be sick.
hell yeah. But see, that's what marketers do. They get together, plan how we gonna get the next generation to buy our products that they don't really need.
Mhm. Right.
This is what they do. They literally sit around in boardrooms. How can we get these motherfuckers to buy our shit? Because we're down in the numbers. Look at Nike. Nike's down in the numbers. Why? They don't really understand that the kids of this new generation really don't give a fuck about Nike. Really
Right.
don't. Because they didn't grow up watching Michael Jordan.
Yeah, they don't care about Jordans.
You know, they don't really care. They know it's a thing because their
They
father and
the
grand
shoe, like the Jordans, but they don't know why it's dope.
yeah, they know. Oh yeah, my father and my grandfather wore these.
Right.
Are they really that? I don't even know who this hell is this Jordan. I see him on YouTube, but
Well, they're like, fuck Jordan. LeBron is this and that. Like
and they don't
LeBron.
even rock LeBrons. They
Nah.
the ones that rock, which is funny to me, but not funny. It's a thing. LaMelo.
Mm,
That's who they gravitate to because that's their generation.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like Nike got to find a way because I'm quite sure Puma's stock went up because LaMelo Ball is there.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Nike stock went down because you still got LeBron who is approaching 40 something. Then you got Kevin Durant in the same range.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got these old timers here at Nike. The new generation, that hey, we're getting Balmains, we getting this, we doing with luxury now, Supreme. We not even focusing on Jordan brand. But meanwhile, in the fashion industry, you know what's keeping the fashion industry alive? Collaborations.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can't stand by themselves anymore. No brand that was a brand back in the day when they stood on their own 2 feet can't do that no more. They need a collaborator.
Yeah.
Nike needs collaboration.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, yeah. You can't. Yeah. I mean, it's a new day, man. It's a new era. This is a new age, bro.
and
Everything is different.
Hasbro needs collaboration because that's what they're doing. They're
Yeah.
licensing out their IPs and getting other manufacturers involved in making toys because they want to do video games.
They want to get into gaming, and gaming, like that's a whole nother like. Oh, tariffs are gonna fuck gamers up too. This whole idea. I mean, this right here is the little thing.
Can
It says,
can let me, not to cut you off? I want to interject. Tariffs will not affect the gamers.
you don't think?
Tell you why. Everything is online. They really don't need the consoles. All they need is a PC.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, but gamers still want a PS5. They still want the Nintendo Switch. They still want that shit. And Switches are about to be the Switch 2 is
Yeah.
$450. The games, the
$80.
digital games are $80. The physical games are $90.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
Well, okay. Mario Kart is $80, but the like Donkey Kong is 70. Like their other games are actually 70, but they have games that they're gonna be charging $80 and $90 for.
That's crazy.
Open world Mario Kart is one of them, and they feel, I guess, that they spent so much effort on it or what. I think it's a ridiculous fucking thing. Like judging what a game's value is based on like the time you spent on it or what you feel you put into it. Like that's ridiculous. Because then you're gonna have developers going nuts trying to, oh well, this is worth 150. Like, you know what I mean? Like like how you gonna just do that, dog? It's fucked up.
But
Um,
here's the thing that'll sway everybody forcefully. Remember what PS4 had a network where you can go and download and all that stuff.
yeah.
That's no longer available. It's the
Mhm.
PS5 network now.
Right.
Same thing's going to happen to Nintendo. The Switch network is going to be the new Switch network. That old network we're getting rid of.
Well, you can still play your digital Switch 1 games, and guess what else they're doing with the Switch 2?
What?
It's gonna have a Nintendo NES, a GameCube, Nintendo 64, like all the games that you want to play. Like, well, not every game, like, but they have like, I don't know, it's like 20 GameCube games are gonna be on there, available on there for
Big
free.
titles. Mm.
For free. Like GameCube, NES games. Some people might be like, "Oh, who gives a shit?" Bro, I'm gonna be playing NES games fucking more than anything. I would
Mhm.
love to get down on some old Nintendo games, bro, cuz when do you ever, you know what I'm saying? Like emulators suck. You try to play on an emulator, it's always fucked up.
Mm.
Uh these are going to be like, top-notch shit. So, it's a lot of cool shit going on with the Switch too. But I still don't think it justifies the price, and I don't think it justifies the game prices.
Yeah.
But I've heard reports of the gamers being hit pretty hard by the tariffs. I've heard both things going both ways, but at this point, there's so much conjecture because it hasn't really happened, and it's such a weird fucking thing. And like here, based on this, it says here's how Trump's math says it works. The 67% tax should raise the price of Chinese products in the United States, and those higher prices should discourage Americans from buying Chinese products or products that contain Chinese components. The idea of this is to literally get Americans to buy fewer foreign products. Well, action figures, collectibles, like this shit, it's all gonna always be foreign products, and like the world is based on that. Like that's how the world goes round. We buy shit from China, they make shit, we buy shit. Like that's just how it works.
Okay,
And Trump's fucking with that. It's gonna last 4 years, and whoever comes in next is gonna end that shit. I promise.
but here we go again. Industry always finds a way. So those same people, you're gonna get smart people here that have plastic companies in the US. They're gonna get a drop in it and they're gonna be like, yo, this is my chance. The regulations, that was one of the reasons why they wanted less regulation. So now these big industries can come back into the country and do their own products here in the country.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole focus. That's what he's trying to do. He said he wanted industry back in America. He want America to be producing again. The only way to do that is to cut ties, because
Right.
technically we're on welfare with fucking China.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the best way to cut you off from the welfare is to cut you off totally, and you go about it yourself and get your own industry back. Or
Mm-hmm.
these companies are continue to get taxed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
You
the
know.
people stop buying. Once the people stop buying, these companies will start to react.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's. I hope so. But you know, I don't think that it's going to be what Trump thinks it's going to be. I don't think that that's going to work out the way he thinks it does or is. Um, but we'll see. Like, I don't think this shit's going to last longer than 4 years because I think that we'll have to endure it because apparently Congress and them can't stop him for some reason. The way the shit is. So, uh, we gotta wait. We gotta wait till somebody else gets in office.
Yeah. But then again, you never know. I mean, even the Democrats understand the math.
Maybe it works. If it works, cool. But I don't see it working the way they think. I don't think this little percentage, a $3 raise in fucking action figures, is going to change the economic status quo of the earth.
No, I mean, but it's just a microcosm of a macro. You know what I'm saying? This we're just talking about toys because we're into that. That's our
Right.
thing. This is our. But think about the other industries, the furniture. Think about all the TVs. Think about the damn cars. Think about clothing. Every aspect, even goddamn baby stuff. All everything is made in China, man.
Well, I
Why?
mean, 10%. It's not a lot. It's a lot. It's not. You know, if something's $100, now it's $110. Like if you're already spending $100, I don't know about you, me. I don't think an extra $10 is gonna change my mind on the purchase. Even $1,000 item, I'm spending $1,000 and it's a extra $100. I'm probably still gonna buy that item.
Yeah.
But you know, there's also 2.5% increases in prices. There's six, but it's these numbers like 67% tariffs on Chinese products that cause prices to go up by 16.75%. That's scary shit. 10% increase in the price of foreign products, there's going to be a 40% decrease in how much Americans buy. That's the
That's gonna be that.
the goal, right? And this is on the higher but still reasonable end of what mainstream economists believe. So faced with 16.75% higher prices, Trump expects Americans to decrease their purchases by 4 times that amount, which brings us back to the 67%. In other words, a 67% tariff on Chinese products would reduce the demand for Chinese products by also 67%. So if Americans are currently buying $439 billion worth of Chinese products each year, Trump's economist expects that the new tariffs will reduce spending by $294 billion. I don't fucking think so.
I think it will, but at what cost? Because now you got to think about, okay, you got to bring, in order for that to really take hold and people to appreciate it, you got to bring industry back to America.
Mhm.
And it can't be the industry that does not involve real Americans, not automation. You know what I'm saying? You have people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and the old boy from Facebook. They're talking about automation, automated factories.
Yeah.
And then they want to implement a universal pay for people, which I don't know any company in the world that want to just give people money for not doing anything.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different little deep things, like you said way earlier.
Yeah.
There's the things we do see. What is the things he's not telling us?
Yeah.
But
Well,
if
I
you
mean,
connect the dots, you can understand what he's doing.
yeah. No, and what, I just think their projections are off. I think that I don't see uh out of 439 billion, almost 300 billion of that going away, just spending like a little over 100 billion when we are spending currently 400 billion. I don't see this little percentage of tariff making us change. That's a drastic amount. If you're spending 400 billion on something and now you're only spending 100 billion on something, that's a huge change. And I don't see that would mean like Americans are just pretty much mostly buying everything made in the USA. Well, we know that that's not possible because, first of all, factories in America can't afford to make the shit that other factories can afford to make. So a lot of shit can't be made in America. So is he
Well,
implying that we're going to all of a sudden go back to the
well,
ages of living with the technology that only Americans can make? Because that would kind of suck.
no, well, technically, a lot of the technology that we send to China, they don't come up with the technology. We send it to them for them to
No,
mimic,
it's the
emulate.
manufacturing I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
The
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
factories.
The
Yeah.
factories, but I'm quite sure they have in mind that they want to bring the factories here. It's just you have to do it in a timely manner, and you have to get every corporation that's on board. And how you do that is you give them less tax to pay. So the incentive is you leave Asia alone, you develop here in this country, and in our partnering countries, you develop here, you manufacture here, and you'll get tax relief. That is
Yeah,
that is
that's the incentive.
yeah, that's the incentive.
But I don't see,
In
you
theory,
know,
I would say
yeah,
that's
yeah,
theory.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the theory. But like,
Yeah,
there's a reason that manufacturing is so much dramatically cheaper in these other countries. There's lots of
because they
reasons.
have less regulations,
There's a lot of reasons.
and
Yeah,
they also have low wages.
yeah, that's two of them.
Technically slave wages, I should say.
Yeah, like sweatshops and shit.
Yeah,
Exactly. Like Americans ain't working for 13 cents an hour. Like that's
no,
not happening. So,
I mean, if you give them a universal pay, maybe they would. Maybe if
but the tariffs alone, I don't think is gonna do what he thinks. It, like you said, universal pay, all this other shit, moving factories to America, whole lot of shit. It would have to happen
yeah, and
for
then
that to be possible.
yeah,
It won't happen in 4 years. I know
It
that.
won't happen in 4 years, and they're not even talking about none of that. They're just doing something to be fucking interesting. But this is what's wrong with Trump's math, Trump's tariff math. Certainly, these new tariffs are not reciprocal tariffs, but the math behind them is not wholly invented or nonsensical, despite what some online have claimed. In fact, for possibly the first time ever, the administration is explicitly acknowledging some of the basic economic logic of tariffs. Tariffs do raise prices, and higher prices do cause people to buy less stuff. And if Americans buy less foreign stuff, then America's trade deficit with other countries will narrow. But that's not to say that any of Trump's tariff calculations arrive at the right answer. For one, these are very rough, back of the envelope calculations as laid out. This formula treats every trading partner, every good, and every industry the same. Bananas, oil, clothing, computers, cars, toys. It doesn't matter what country sends, what a country sends to the US. More importantly, the formula hinges on a big assumption about how much tariffs will raise prices. Trump's math assumes that only a quarter of the tariffs would be passed on to American consumers in the form of higher prices. But economists who have studied Trump's tariffs in 2018 on steel and aluminum and various products from China calculate that almost all of those tariffs ended up being passed on to Americans.
yeah,
Not 25%, 100%.
yeah.
Aside from that,
Mhm.
Trump's tariff math also ignores the broader economic consequences of these sweeping new tariffs, and they will have effect on the overall American economy, and they will have influence rate changes. They will influence exchange rates, sorry, and they will likely provoke retaliatory tariffs from other countries. So we already see other countries being like, oh, well, if you're going to do that, we're going to do this, and giving us tariffs. So now we can't export shit and make money that we were making selling shit to them. So will Trump's new tariffs actually close the trade deficit? Maybe, maybe not. But finally, at least the administration has shown its work. And according to their calculations, raising prices and closing the trade deficit is what these tariffs are designed to do. And so that's for anybody who thinks that he's just doing it to be a dick. Like this is what they, because Trump's the money guy, right? He's the money guy. So he's his whole thing that he ran on, the whole reason people think that they wanted to vote for him is good. He's gonna fix the economy because he's such a great businessman, and
Mhm.
and that so this is him trying to do that, trying to be like, okay, well, this is what a businessman would do.
Mhm.
And that's what we're going to get a lot of is, oh, well, this is what a businessman would do here.
Well,
This is how you'd make a company. And America is a company. Don't get it twisted. The United States is a corporation. You know what I'm saying? We have an empire state. Fucking the people here, the citizens are the fucking product, the consumer. That's America's product. America's a company and it creates a product, and that's a consumer.
yep,
So here
that's
we go fucking with that.
Big
yep,
facts.
yep. And then when the consumer stops to consume, the company has to change strategy. I mean,
Hopefully, yeah. I
they
mean,
could have kept going the same way, with not charging, but we still lose.
I
So
mean,
at the end of the day, I mean, these corporations, they're gonna keep charging no matter if there was a tariff or not. Because remember, I mean, even I predicted this stuff was gonna happen. A lot of people can tell you I did this when in 2020, 2021. I was saying the price of these figures and things are gonna go up because
Mm.
companies are greedy. When they see a wave of people getting in on something, and a whole bunch of people are collecting, so yeah, we're gonna get while the getting's good. Because remember, we are the last collectors, truly the
Hmm.
last true collectors. Our generation is the
Yeah.
last. After that, I mean, you got some 30 somethings that are hanging there, but ultimately, it's the 40 and up guys that's like the last hardcore motherfuckers.
Yeah. I mean, there's there is some Gen Z collectors. They're mostly collecting anime and shit like that. Like my son, he's big into collecting anime stuff and video game. But they collect video games. They collect anime. The video game collecting industry is insane, and I think it's really cool too. Like a lot of Gen Z and like millennial kids are collecting like NES cartridges and Atari
Yeah,
cartridges, and
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's a whole
They collect
industry.
that, but I'm talking about, we grew up with like right now people will call them corny cartoons. We
Hmm.
grew up, like we said, they're commercials,
Yeah,
but they were entertaining to us. They helped us through whatever trauma
yeah.
we came up in the 80s with in the late 70s or what have you.
And I used to think they were serious too, like
Yeah,
deep and like real deep, and
they were for us.
and they
They were
were in a
'cause
way.
and that's what helped molded us. You know what I mean? They all had moral endings to them on how to treat
Yeah.
people and how to expect certain things. They had that. All of them had
Mhm.
that. But
Oh.
now, they don't have that in the cartoons.
Well,
And
no, some of these cartoons now though, like Steven Universe, what's
mm,
the other Adventure Time?
Funny you said Steven Universe.
yeah,
Yeah, bro, don't fucking sleep
That's
on
my
it, bro.
first time watching it on my son today because one of my students said something about it, and I was
mm,
like, "Why y'all talk about that show so much?"
They love that shit, bro. That's like my Gen Z. That they love that shit. They love that show. They love Adventure Time. They love what's the other one?
Gumball.
Gumball. Fucking
everything on
what's the one
Adult Swim.
with the Mordecai and Rigby?
Well,
Mordecai and
that's
Rigby.
the Adult
Rick and
Swim
Morty.
generation.
Rick
Well,
and
that's the
Morty.
Cartoon
Yeah,
Network generation, the
Cartoon
Toonami
Network
generation.
generation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They
Rick
fuck
and
with
Morty,
anime.
you was trying to say. Rick and Morty. Yeah.
Nah,
I don't know why kids are watching Rick and Morty. I told one of my students, "Yo, take that shirt off, man. Why you why you watch? You shouldn't be watching that, man."
Yeah, it's crazy.
uh,
Like Family Guy
how
and
old
all.
are your students?
They're variety. I drive a school bus, so I get elementary, middle,
Oh, okay.
couple
Okay.
of high school. But these are the elementary school kids. They be rocking Rick and Morty, and
Yeah,
they be watching a lot of anime. Like some of the anime is cool. Japan don't really play with their kids like that, but they they love like Family Guy, and
yeah, yeah.
I'm
My
like, yo,
son loves that shit, and that's a like that's we didn't have that when we was kids. We didn't have animated shit that was like that. If
Mhm.
you did, it was like some underground shit or whatever,
Yeah.
Felix the Cat or some shit. But
yeah,
like you know, it is a different atmosphere, and it is interesting. Like I think of like our parents' generations and they're like they collected the fuck out of like baseball cards or whatever, like they it's collectors been like all through the generations until now. Like this
Mhm.
is like you said, there are Gen Z collectors, there are millennial collectors, but it's not not as many as us. Definitely not as many as us. I mean, you can see it. You can see it at Comic Cons. You can see it at whatever, whatever toy fairs, whatever. Look who's there.
And
It's
you could also
mostly older dudes.
yeah, you could also say that although the new generation collects, they're quick to discard.
Mm.
We're not quick to discard. We keep things close to heart, so we hold on more so than the younger generation. Younger generation look at something like, "Oh, this is cool, it's cool," and then the next day they're like, "All right, whatever, I'm on to the next."
Yeah.
They're quick to do that. They don't hold on to because they're forward thinkers just because of the internet. Because that's how the internet moves. It's forward, forward. Yeah, you have some going back, but going backwards is like, that was yesterday's news. We don't care about that. What's new now? What's going on now? What's the new shit? They're
Right.
always feeding for the new, where we're the last ones to think about. yo, remember back in the day, man? We hold on to the past.
Yeah. Well, we respect our elders more too. We respect the previous generation and all that.
Yeah, so their mind is equipped to move forward and not even look
Big
back.
time.
You know what I'm saying? And they don't look back. So that and that's why they have a
But you know what though?
for the elders, because
Yeah.
they don't think of elders as forward people.
Right. They got the internet.
You know?
What you gonna say?
But you know
EGP?
what?
Yeah. What you gonna say?
You know what? Our generation. No, no, my fault. Hope I'm not cutting anyone off.
No, no,
Nah, nah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Our generation had all the dope shit though. They may call it corny now,
Yeah.
but our toys were off the chain. The shows were off the chain, and not every show had toys for them. I'm
Yep.
still looking for toys for Force 5, and there's only one place that had them over where I was at, and it was hard to get to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we had Mighty Orbots, another one of my personal favorites. Never had a toy for it.
Mm.
You know, we had dope shows, dope cartoons, or animated series. I don't want to call it anime. The anime purists might jump me. You know, but we had a lot of actually Galaxy Rangers never had a toy either.
Galaxy Rangers.
I don't think Brave Star. We
Brave
had a lot
Star
of
had toys.
dope shows. So of course,
Brave Star
yeah,
had,
Galaxy Rangers.
Brave Star. Yeah.
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 Brave Star had a toy.
yeah, they still got toys.
Okay.
Yep.
Mm.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah. I don't think Galaxy Rangers had a toy. I don't think Silverhawks had a toy. I don't remember.
Silverhawks got toys now for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Silverhawks had toys back.
They had
But we
Thundercat
had
type shit.
this generation don't really have anything.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, you know.
I remember Thundercats had a
Yeah.
toy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And the Silverhawks were
Yeah,
basically
Rankin
the same
Bass.
thing.
Yeah, they had a
I
couple.
would say everything that had a cartoon back in the 80s had some
That's-
form of a toy.
That's what I was saying. Like that's why the cartoon existed, was to sell the toy. So every cartoon had a toy back then. Now, if there's an Adventure Time toy, it's literally just a collectible.
Yeah.
If there's a
figure. Just
right, yeah, exactly. There's
Toy
no
Tokyo or
Right.
Kid Robot would have those type of toys. You know.
or they make a Funko Pop of it or something. But
Yeah. So it's a vinyl figure, not more articulated or something where you play with, just something you can put on your desk while you're playing on your computer.
yeah,
That's how both my sons.
It's a statue. It's a decoration.
Yeah. That's how both my sons are with their room. It's decorated above their PCs. Above that is all their collectibles. You know. So it's like, and then it's all anime.
This generation, besides the anime,
It's all anime. It's crazy.
all anime. Yeah, they love it. My son loves anime.
yeah, mostly. Besides the anime, they don't have much to really look forward to.
My son loves Marvel and anime. Yeah,
Yeah.
he fucks with like Spider-Man and then every anime.
My sons, they mess with anime and Legos.
Yeah, he likes Legos too.
Legos. It's
Oh, yeah.
heavy on Legos, man.
Lego movies were dope.
Yeah.
That's why.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But that's
Pardon
definitely
me, y'all.
no doubt. But that's definitely the scene, man. Like that's how I see. Well, they're trying to do a reset of everything. Financially, economically, they're trying to reset the mindsets of the American people to go back into this isolationist form that we were in pre-World War One.
Yeah.
We were isolationists, and we had an industry. We had development, and people looked forward or leaned on America for help.
Mm-hmm.
But we're trying to say that they lean too much on us, and we need the help now. Nobody wants to help, so we're like, okay, you don't want to help. Now we're going to become isolationists once again, and see what happens. Well, while we're
I mean, but at the same time, our product is still the consumer, and if we're not, cultivating that product, what's going to happen to the economy? That's what we're going to have to find out.
You got to change the mind of the consumer. I think that's one of the plays too. They're trying to change the mind of the consumer and really get into core values of why
They want us to consume less foreign products
Yeah, which
because
is
that
not a bad
so-called
thing.
hurts the economy, or they feel like our economy will be stimulated and shit will get better here if we start buying more American stuff.
Which is
Which
not bad. It's
in
not a bad.
theory, it's true,
Yeah.
but in practice, um
Well,
it's not
they
feasible.
because they don't have the infrastructure to
We
do that.
don't have the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
But if we're going into it, they're trying to probably looking at it as we're going in technology phase. So everybody's into iPads, iPhones, computers, and things of that nature. They're not even taking into account of the toy collector and people like that. They don't
Yeah,
care about that. They're like, okay, you guys are dying out any fucking way. We're not looking towards you. We're looking at these younger people and what their future is going to be because your future is already set. You know what I'm saying? So that it's a kind of way where Trump is not doing it for Trump. He's doing it for Barron Trump. He's not even doing it for Eric and his other kids. He's doing
mhm,
it for Barron Trump and his generation.
mhm.
Honestly. So the reset is for them. It's not technically not for us because we're not going to really see the true reset. It's our kids. Or
Yeah.
if you have younger kids, it's that generation. You know what I'm saying? So we are looking at it from our personal point of view. We're not looking at it from a future point of view, which we should be looking at it through those lens. Because in the future, these toys, yeah, it'll be very far and few. These will be like relics in a
Yeah.
museum. They're
Yeah.
already relics in a museum, technically.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it'll be something that our kids will say, "Hey, they used to collect things back in these days. They used to
They
have
used
things."
to have physical toys.
Yeah, but now we're all digital. You don't need the
Everything is, yeah, on the cloud or in virtual fucking reality.
exactly. So
And
they're looking at that type of reset economy, the future. So they don't have to really develop a lot of things here. What
the
they
problem with that is that it's not gonna last. That won't happen in 4 years,
yeah.
and I think that the next president, is gonna get elected by saying, "See how you guys have been paying all this extra money for shit? Well, I'm gonna take away the tariffs. Elect me." And then, of course, all the
Well,
masses of idiots are
that,
gonna elect him, and
yeah.
then that'll be there goes the whole idea of building the infrastructure and the whole thing.
But that may work if he
That's
continues.
one possible outcome.
Yeah, he can do that. That can happen only if he does not abolish the federal tax for wages. Because now if you don't do
Yeah,
that,
big if.
yeah, if he does that, that changes the whole perception of his game plan because he got the tariffs going, but he also put more money in your pocket.
We'll
Along
see,
with
yeah, I hope
along
so.
with a so-called $5,000 bonus check.
Yeah, yeah, we'll
That'd
see.
be crazy. If he give you that bonus check and say, "Yo, you don't have to pay federal taxes." What
That'd be
person in their
another
right
COVID.
mind would say, "Yo, this dude, he's different. This is something we can get behind." You know what I
W
mean? Like,
Yeah, if he did, yeah, if he does that.
I think that's the only play he has left after these tariffs.
He better do something like it. He better do
Because if
something
you
like
keep the
that.
tariffs going and people in certain industries keep suffering, yeah, your legacy is in total jeopardy.
Yeah, and my thing is I don't think his plan can work within 4 years, and, so someone's gonna have to take it over, and the only way someone's gonna take it over is if, it's if there's something like you said
Mhm,
with a, tax break or something like that that's making us ignore these extra prices on foreign products,
mhm.
and so that the next guy running doesn't, run on the fact that I'm gonna, take away foreign product tariffs and give you guys your, shopping, addiction back or whatever the fuck.
And then we gotta bring the taxes back because we got rid of the tariffs.
Right, and then that's gonna kill the whole thing
Yeah.
that Trump's, was trying to build, so but hopefully it works out fast enough that, the next president will see. I mean, here's a couple of toy makers right here that, are already, doing the right thing, because
quote unquote.
quote unquote, right. The New York Toy Fair we saw just recently, a bunch of the it says amid tariffs being imposed on goods imported in the U.S. and Canada, China, and Mexico, there was a focus on value at the recent toy fair. A 25% tariff on goods from Canada and Mexico took effect Tuesday, while those for imports from China doubled to 20%. As a result, many toy makers are targeting value for their new products. Though the approach to create value varied by company, for some toy makers, the focus was on categories that at a lower cost, while others choosing to evolve their strategies to include discount distribution channels. So here's the actual shit. Spin Master Corp, for example, recently redesigned a Paw Patrol playset to a smaller size before dropping the retail price to $59, down from $89, to match lower prices in the category. CEO Max Rangel told analysts Playmates Toys, meanwhile, reduced the price for its licensed core Cat Noir fashion dolls to $14.99, down from $16.99, making them competitive with rival products, said Carl Arionian, SVP Marketing and Development at Playmates. And after a 5-year hiatus, Basic Fun revived its 4.5-inch Mash'ems collectibles that is as an exclusive for Five Below, priced at $5. Smaller 2-inch figures carry a $2.99 retail price. So these are mostly toys we would not. These are actual toys that small children play with, not collectibles. Now, at an even higher end, Funko's Mondo brand, which is definitely just for collectibles, readying licensed Adventure Time collectible squads priced to $125 to $150, down from the previous $225 to $275. And yes, Mondo fucking toys, yes, they do cost $275. Here's the Adventure Times ones.
That look dope. That Adventure.
Hell yeah.
That looks crazy dope. I like that from them.
I really wish that I could afford these.
Yeah.
The X-Men. These are fucking dope. And this is what they look like. That's how big they are. And that's why they're called Mondo, because they're large. But yeah, they got Wolverine, they got Rogue. They look amazing, dude. They're straight out of the animated series.
Sabretooth is hella crazy.
I love this Sabretooth so much, dog. I want this bitch.
Crazy. Straight off.
225.
Yeah.
Magneto's crazy.
Yeah, he's wild. They got 2 versions of him too.
Yep. Well, they got 3. Or is that a 3rd version?
I think. Oh, is it? Hold on. That's the 225. Oh, there's a SDC.
Yep. This one doesn't have like the cartoon black mark shading on it.
Yeah.
This one does.
The cell shading and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and this one, what's the difference in these two?
One
comes with more heads.
Exclusive timed edition.
Yeah. I don't know.
That may be, yeah. The head.
It comes with an extra head.
Yeah.
Whatever. A couple extra heads. Yeah.
4 heads.
Well, yeah, it's an extra $10. So yeah, they call it $10 for an extra couple heads. Not bad. Yeah. Wolverine. This one's really, really, really cool because he's like standing on like a torn Sentinel head. I really like that. I really, really like that shit. I would love that. $245. It's just out of my price range, and then tariffs. Forget about it. Gambit looks crazy. Oh, Mega Red, I want so bad. Love that shit.
Yeah, Mega Red look tough.
Cyclops is fire.
Yeah,
that shit, dog.
Hell yeah.
My God. $240. But yeah, these Mondo joints are dope, but they're expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other toy companies, it says we are, from a portfolio standpoint, trying to make sure that we have the right amount of entry price points balanced with that, with what the consumer would want in details, play value, and based on the consumer wallet and what they'd be willing to spend, Arionian said. Yet, despite this emphasis on value, the amount consumers will pay for toys will likely increase starting in the fall, toy industry executives said. The wholesale prices will be adjusted mid-year, with discussions between retailers and suppliers about spring 2026 products starting in mid-March and continuing through April and May, according to industry executives. Basic Fun, for example, will likely increase the licensed Tonka product $29.99 by $5 to $10 to account for the tariffs on goods imported from China, CEO Jay Foreman said. That's the foreman of that's the foreman, or sorry, that's the foreman. That's the CEO of the what do you call it? Basic Fun, who does Tonka, and he's saying that we're going to raise the $30 product to like $40. Basic Fun had planned to absorb the 3.5% of the cost with contract manufacturers, while retailers accounted for the remainder. That might not be happening. The previously proposed 10% tariff. About 80% of the U.S. toy makers in China, toys are manufactured in China, although companies have been moving production into other countries since President Trump first discussed tariffs in 2018. Mattel, for example, is targeting a plan to reduce the number of toys produced in China to 40% of its manufacturing mix, down from a current 50%. And Mattel is going to be taking over for DC Multiverse. So McFarlane's price hike in McFarlane toys is going to be a thing of the past anyway. And Mattel's doing shit to make the prices cheaper for us. So hopefully a lot of toys companies follow suit here and follow these guys and do shit to save money for us. It says the tariffs mean that we have to scale back the orders, and that means less volume. Lower margins may result in us losing some customers, said Brian Flynn, CEO at collectibles supplier Super 7. Which launched the Fun line at Toy Fair, featuring its first 5-inch vinyl plush figurines. Amid these pricing concerns, the licensed construction set category was in the spotlight at New York Toy Fair at the wake of Mattel and Jazzwares launching new entries in the category. Category leader Lego, meanwhile, introduced a new Bluey collection at the event. Moose Toys extended its Tiletown magnetic tile set. In addition to Bluey, while Funko expanded its Bitty Bop collectibles. A Bitty City set features the other brands like Harry Potter's Bob Burger, SpongeBob SquarePants. The market share in toy construction is really owned by Lego, but if you have a brand name and create something that's different, there is room in the market for another competitor. I guess that implies that other competitors start making cheaper shit.
Yeah, shrinking down.
Yeah, and competing with Lego by making a cheaper buildable product.
Yeah,
for example,
the world.
We all know so many knockoff Legos have tried to come out, and they're all shit. No one can seem to do what Lego does for some reason.
Mm-mm.
I don't know
because Legos own the patent on their
yeah.
structure.
The design is fucking choice.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I just think for the most part these days, man, we're gonna see the change. We're gonna see it all, but I think we'll be all right. I think everybody will be all right at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think so too. But it's
Now, as far as it happening in 4 years, it may not. But then again, they're talking about this man running for a third term, which is
that's not possible, bro.
it's not possible, but not impossible. If you get my drift, because what you call it do in New York? You what you call it ran for a third term. That opened the floodgates up for some litigation to go on. Because in New York, I forget his name, Bloomberg. He ran for 3 terms.
The mayor and the president of the United States is two very different things.
Two different things, but we all know when you go to a Supreme Court and have a decision made in the Supreme Court, it can be used in other Supreme Court cases.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If Trump tried to do that, the government's not going to support it. The government's not going to want him to do that. Like they're not going to want to change the way the Constitution and the way presidency works and all that, and democracy and all that, and make some dictator, because they'd be afraid that he'd try to be a dictator and install himself permanently.
Yeah.
And so the government would never allow it. So if he did do something like that, it would cause a revolt. I mean, at the very worst case scenario, there would be a fucking civil war. It would.
True. But then again, in war times, the presidents
Well, yeah, but that would be creating the war, though. That would have to happen first.
it would happen to happen. So either or it's gonna happen. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Something's gonna happen. Just
I
be
think,
prepared. Be
yeah, I don't
prepared.
know.
That's all I
I
got.
hear you. I hear you, but I don't personally. I'm not one of the believers in a third term. I don't think that's gonna
No,
happen.
no, I'm not saying that I want that,
No,
but I'm
no, I'm
saying
saying
that
I don't believe. I don't believe it will happen. I don't believe it. I'm not scared of that happening. I don't think
yeah,
it's gonna happen.
yeah,
I
hopefully.
know that a lot of people fear that,
Yeah, but a
and
lot
for
of
good
shit,
reason. Because if that happens, that the implications are fucking.
yeah. But stranger things have happened in our lifetime. So
Yeah, I guess.
you know what I'm saying? I mean, we went through a pandemic that we never thought would happen.
Yeah, and riots and nationwide riots and all kinds of shit.
Shit, yeah. So we never thought these things could happen. It happened.
Yeah. I
So
mean, be prepared. That's all I'm saying. Because if
yeah,
that shit happens, it's going down.
yeah, man. So
It's going down. But like they say at Hasbro,
yeah,
of all the people, of all the consumers in America, collectors will be the ones most impacted by tariffs because we can't get our products from the United States, right? A lot of products, it's like, oh, I could buy the Chinese version or the foreign version, or I could buy the more expensive, better one that's made here in America. And
yeah,
that's what they want, people to make that choice.
yeah.
Well, we can't make that choice. And so that's why it's
As
gonna
it
hurt us the
stands,
most.
as it stands, we can't
Yeah,
make.
as it stands. Right, right,
There
right.
was a
If
factory that came along and said, "Hey, we're now making action figures, and we're taking all licensing from China. So now we can do the Marvels, the GI Joes. We can do everything here."
But bro, but that's a fantasy because if that
I'm
was something possible, like first of all, even the comic industry, like I'm like, what the fuck? Like you telling me you can't print comics in the United States, you have to print them in Canada? But like
It's the cost.
apparently Marvel's like, yeah, we have to print them in Canada.
Yeah, because you know why? Because of the regulations on the environmental regulations.
Whatever the reason.
The waste, because it's the waste. See, in China, they don't have that type of regulation.
But there's a reason, like there's always a reason why we do it.
Because don't you know in China, there's a certain time of the day they can't be out on the streets because of the deep smog and pollution. It
And
blacks out
yeah,
the whole
in some
fucking
of the
in
big
in
cities.
the industrial areas.
Yeah.
It blacks out their whole fucking area, and it's toxic. So they have to stay inside.
But that's not like all of China. It's like,
No, not all the time. I'm just saying in the industrial parts where they have manufacturing with no regulation.
yeah, oh, it's so bad, bro. It's so bad.
Way bad.
It's so bad. It's and like you said, like slavery, like modern day
Yeah.
slavery, like fucking real fucked up conditions,
Yes.
bro.
Yes.
Like you complain over here about your job, bro, like and think
Oh, yeah.
they slave driving me? Nah.
No, they lock people in factories over there and have them sleep overnight and
Oh
live.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I think living on campus in college, that's their college and their life. That's
Yeah.
all they do. They get locked in there, and the conditions are unbearable. Is really psychotic. But
Yeah. Children and shit working.
yeah, so it's like, okay, you want that to come to the US? That's the other part of it. You want that to come to the US, but you can't
Well, right,
because
and that's the reason why shit is so cheaply made because
yeah,
of those conditions, right? And so
mhm,
Americans want to kind of like me as the toy collector, whatever, I try to like ignore that. Like I don't think about all the, the poor, little Chinese girl that had to fucking suffer to make this toy. Like that's the farthest thing from my mind.
that's the American. What they say, they call us uh we have that type of
Conscious ignorance or whatever,
yeah,
or
ignorant.
intentional ignorance or something like that.
Our privilege. That's our privilege.
Well, yeah,
All
yeah,
the
but
American
yeah.
ignorance. We have the
Mhm,
privilege to ignore.
mhm.
You know what I mean? And
because we are detached from the rest of the world
Yeah, we are.
geographically.
Yeah, we are detached, but mentally we are also detached.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The outside of our country, they know more about what's going on in reality than we do because we're trapped in a bubble. We're fed. We're fed the reality we're supposed to think. We're fed this. Over
Right.
there, they're not. They're fed, but they also see what's happening. They can have something on their news, but look right outside their window and say that shit ain't true because I'm looking right at it.
Yep.
You know, we have we're in a bubble. We see certain things, but not the whole picture.
Right.
We assume.
Right. Yeah, and we also willfully ignore shit that we know. Like we know that shit's going down. We know that's why. Like Hasbro is an American company, right? But they know that work conditions in China are horrendous, but
Mhm.
they still have shit made over there because it's competitively cheaper.
Yeah,
And they don't want to be the only no company wants to be the only one paying 4 times what all the other companies are paying. They feel like they'd be getting laughed at. They wouldn't be able to compete in the market. They wouldn't be able to compete, period. And so, like, they really have no choice if that's what everyone else is doing. And these companies are offering manufacturing at a price that no American company can hope to come to because an American worker
mhm.
couldn't legally work on that amount of money.
True.
So
They
there's
change
no way to do it. And yeah,
unless they
that's why.
change the
That's why
status.
this is.
But here's the crazy kicker that you brought up competing. Who's Hasbro really competing with? Because their products are different from Mattel's products.
But they're
Like,
still competing with them. Like
no, no,
we
no, no, no. But what I'm saying, far as competing, they're competing as far as company versus company, right?
Mhm.
And that's on a monetary level. But
Yeah.
far as products are concerned, they have WWE, they have Masters of the Universe over at Mattel. They have Barbie over at Mattel, right?
Mhm.
But over here at Hasbro, they got GI Joe, Star Wars,
Star
Transformers.
Wars, Marvel.
Yeah. So what's the real competition? Because there's a lot of people buying from both. There's no real competition. So when they say competition, it's on their corporate level competition. It's not really a competition on goods because people buy what they're gonna buy. Like if you're into GI Joe, you're into GI Joe. If you're into
Yeah,
Bar,
you gotta get it from Hasbro. You can't
exactly. So it's
choose. Yeah.
if Mattel and GI and Hasbro did GI Joe, then there would be a competition for your dollar
Yeah.
on that level. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So they even give illusion when they talk about we're in competition, just to sway you from what their real competition is. Who's going to make more money?
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, we definitely got, that's what I'm saying. A lot of things people need to, with this tariff, people should go into studying how shit is on a corporate level because you'll really see the bullshit that consumers, what we're consuming, we're being fed a whole bunch of bullshit, period.
Mhm.
The cost of the goods that they're importing,
As always.
you know what I'm saying? Like a $2 figure, they're selling to you for $50. A Gucci belt that's fucking $15 to make in India, and then they send it to Italy to get stamped or what have you, and then they send it to America to sell you at $300. That's some bullshit right there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
That's
then
capitalism, though.
yeah, that's
Yeah. Well,
capitalism.
and so is this. Like Hasbro knows that collectors are different a different market than parents who buy toys for their kids.
Yeah,
Like kids don't buy
Hmm.
toys, period, right? Either adult is buying a kid for their toy or they're buying it for their shelf.
yeah,
And Hasbro believes that demand from collectors is more inelastic, meaning it's less likely to change if the price increases, while a family can't increase their budget for buying toys for their kids. But if I'm just a guy who I'm a hobbyist and I have a budget that I spend on toys, like I'm st- I can choose to increase if I want to. Or I can choose, or I can, but collecting, like you said, is a luxury. So I'm already doing something that's a luxury. So I can choose to increase that. A parent buying toys for kids, it's almost a budget in a way. Like it's part of your budget. You gotta, you're you got a family you're taking care of. You're budgeting your money. This is what I'm spending on the kids. Da, da, da. And that's something so basically they will be more likely to raise prices on collector toys than children's toys, because they know that parents aren't going to if a parent walks in and sees this toy that's $30 when it should be like 15, the parent's going to be like, sorry, we're not buying this, kid. But if like a collector walks in and the 1999 toy is now $25, fuck it, we're gonna buy it anyway if we really want that figure or we really want that toy, that iconic item or whatever. So because we're buying it
It's
because
the hunt.
it's a hunt. It's almost an addiction. Like we're feeding something with it,
And then
right?
it's also it's twisted too, because I think on a crazy variation and levels, it's also advantageous that most of your collectors are single men and women. So it's advantageous for these corporations to not have families.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, single. Well, I mean,
if you got a family, you just say if you had a family, you're budgeting for the family. So you really, unless you have ways and means, your income is a you're a high earner, then you can do all that. But if you're a single person and you're into your hobby and you're not married, you're likely to spend more money on your hobby because you don't have a family to, you know what I'm saying?
1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%. Like single dude, like especially in our age bracket, a single, like all this stuff I've bought since me and my wife pretty much split up. I wouldn't have this stuff if we were together. I wouldn't, because I know I wouldn't. Like I wouldn't be able to justify the fucking mail that the package is coming every day. Like there's no way I could justify that to the wife, right? You know what I mean? So families, it's much harder when you become like a more either a bachelor or you are just rich as fuck, and it doesn't matter, your wife doesn't have shit to say about it type thing. But when you're a family on a budget, you're not doing this. There's just no way you're doing this hobby. So they know that. And it says collectors will have to make up for the increase in costs of all lines, not just what they collect.
That's wicked.
Yeah.
There.
And this means that the rise on the price of toys targeting collectors will be disproportionately larger than the increased tariff cost. And that's why even if the tariffs against Vietnam won't come into effect just yet, if ever, the added cost of tariffs against China for all other products Hasbro still manufactures there will be passed down to collectors. And the interview, it says, also confirms that Hasbro was very diligent in the past 3 years in lowering production cost of the Transformers line, though Cox hopes it was not noticed. Chris Cox, who is the boss at Transformers.
But yeah, they can produce the kitty Transformer shit.
Yeah.
That nobody buys.
That no one buys anyway.
No one touches those at all.
It's mind-boggling. It's like, and I think it's like a contract thing. I guess they have with like the big box stores where they have to pay for shelf space for that category.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because there's no reason, like you said, like these little kitty fucking Transformer shits.
Transformer. Who the fuck buys?
Look at that shelf. Look at that shelf.
Who buys?
That's not. They don't have that stuff here.
Right. Oh no.
No, we don't have a lot of Transformers anymore like that we used to.
That's all my Walmart is full of, is this shit. We got tons of Transformers.
Yeah, see, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for those right there.
Yeah, we got all this kind of shit.
Area box.
Yeah, but we don't have nothing else.
Shit right there. That shit.
Yeah, this is dumb. Like this is
who the fuck, man?
Who?
Nah, no one.
Like that's crazy. Look at that shit on the side of the Bumblebee. Who buys that little shit right there over there? Like
crazy.
Where?
like, they're wasteful, in my opinion.
You talking about this thing?
Yeah, no, not Bumblebee. The one next to
no, that's the original, not them.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
this.
the original. I'm talking about on the other side. Look in the little that
On
shit.
the right.
The
Oh,
right.
the Gorilla Kong.
What is that?
That's
What the
Godzilla. That's
yeah?
Godzilla
Who
Kong.
buys this shit? Like this
Yeah.
is what I'm saying. It's totally.
Well,
Wait,
that's not a Transformers thing.
but I'm just saying the little shit that they buy
But
to
this shit.
appease little kids.
Yeah, yeah. And like this big ass Optimus Prime here.
The
Uh
Yeah, that's
fake
cool.
version of the
yeah,
forest and shit, whatever the fuck that shit
the
is.
robot one.
The
Yeah.
Yeah,
robot,
that's when they're trying to make it more toy-like.
yeah,
Right.
They're trying to
affordable.
aim at children. Children ain't feeling it, and it
Well,
ain't
and it
happening.
has a controller with a wire on it that
Yeah,
you gotta
It's
press it and
remote.
make it.
Yeah, it's remote
Yeah,
control. That's
yeah.
whack.
It's ridiculous.
like who?
I didn't play with remote control since the
Oh,
early '80s.
it don't have a wire. It's
No,
wireless.
it's just a remote control.
Oh, okay. But still fucking
And but see that one shit. Who the fuck went out their way to buy that shit?
yeah, the one.
You
Yeah,
already got
I mean, the movie was pretty good for
yeah.
me, but
I didn't
no one's
see it.
buying the toy like that.
I didn't
Yeah,
see
I
the
liked it.
movie. Yeah, I don't
I
know,
mean,
but like
I have the Optimus Prime where he also has Alpha Trion inside of him. You know what I'm saying? Not Alpha
mhm.
Trion.
Yeah, I bought Aqua Trion for my son
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
at the theater.
Yeah, see, you got the exclusive joint, the theater joint.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's all crazy, man. It's wastefulness. Like, even though we're consumers, companies do a lot of waste because they
Yeah.
figure, oh, if he buys this size Optimus Prime, he's gonna buy this size, and this size. No,
Right.
fuck,
No.
you stupid. What?
No, that's what I don't
They
get too.
even
Like yeah, like you make all these different products of this character. I only buy 6-inch figures, right? That's all I'm gonna buy. The 6-inch version of every character. I'm not buying the 12-inch version and the guy with no elbow articulation and no knees. He's just 12 inches tall. Like what little kid is playing with these big ass dolls like anyway? I don't
Yeah,
I
they're
never
they
waste.
also
understood what
got the
all that wasted
Transformers in the
plastic.
vehicle form
Yeah,
Yeah, or they're permanently
that don't
one
even
way or the other.
transform.
They don't transform, right?
exactly.
What I want a red truck for? I can get that Hot Wheels.
Right.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. And for the life of me, economists, they talk about production and things, but what about the waste these companies fucking have? If they destroy the waste, they can afford to do shit and balance
Mm.
every fucking thing out also. That's also a thing, but nobody want to address the waste. The waste of all this bullshit that you're feeding people in the name of consumption to fill your bottom line that you're never gonna meet because nobody wants that shit. It's
Mhm.
like
Tell us how
Nike,
you really feel, bro.
yo, for real. It's like Nike. Okay, everybody's buying Jordans and buying fucking KDs and LeBrons. Why you need the discounted version? You're gonna make because they can't afford the Jordan price. Why don't you get rid of all the bullshit so everybody can get the Jordan ones or whatever?
Mhm.
Get rid of the dun shit. This way, the standard to be quality across the board, you ain't got to worry. You could lower the Jordans from $200 back down to $75 to $100. Case,
Nah, they want more money.
because now the bullshit sneakers are at $125, $130. What
Yep.
the fuck?
Yeah, I remember when $100 was crazy for shoes. Like Jordans was $100. Oh,
Yeah, 110, the maximum at
right.
some point. Now they're 250, 300, and all this shit. But then
Because they know people are going to spend their money on it. That's why.
yeah. But you got basic sneakers that are now 125, 140.
Yeah, because
Basic,
collectibles, and then now you got collectible sneakers that are $1,000 and shit.
yeah. So it's a whole bunch of waste. I go to sneaker cons, I go to toy cons, I see a whole bunch of fucking waste.
Yeah.
Because there's when you go to these cons, these are people trying to get rid of their collections or whatever they scalpers that bought too much and they're trying to get rid of shit and trying to get the price that they paid for. No, motherfucker, it's not gonna happen. You got a
Mhm.
whole bunch of waste. You know, at least when I sold my shit, I knew I was going into a deficit for some stuff. Not all stuff, but for the most part, I made out even because the bulk of the stuff that I bought. You know what I'm saying? I made out a little something. But when there's waste by companies, that shit got to be addressed. You want to trim the fat? Okay. Yeah, you want to lay off people, but also stop producing dumb shit.
Yeah, a lot of dumb products, a lot of useless shit. I mean, Americans have always been buying a lot of stupid shit. I mean, from little plastic nonsense toys to shit you just don't need. I mean, crazy ass appliances and stupid shit. I mean, that's just look at the fucking infomercials and from whatever. But that's consumerism. That's what I mean. We are bred to consume. That's what we're taught to do.
When people don't
Uh,
own certain things, they try to feel like they own something by buying shit they don't need.
yeah. Well, before we wrap it up, man, here goes 7 Americans weighing in on Trump's sweeping tariffs. Hamid Chandri, man, he's kind of misguided. He says, as a business, he says, I live in Trump country. Nobody's panicking. The owner of a farmer's market said he's had he's taken a 25% cut in profits over the past year because of rising costs of goods and services. He said he believed in the next few months the pain could run even deeper, so he was building up a rainy day fund. But he was hopeful that the tariffs would eventually pay off, most likely by the next presidential election. As a business owner, you don't make money right away, right? Said Mr. Chandri, who voted for Trump. When I listen to Trump, what he's saying is it's a short-term pain, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Man, these people are fucking bamboozled. They really believe this bullshit. And the fact is, when it's staring them in the face that they're fucked, they will still make an excuse and be like, "Oh well, Trump said this or Trump said that or it's gonna be okay." Every time he does some fucked up shit, they'll be so quick to make an excuse.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? But the second he does any, you know what I mean? It's
don't
so
think it's
disproportionate with reality.
well. It you got to look at it because I'm not a person that just totally count them out. You know,
I'm not talking about Trump. I'm talking about the followers that blindly follow his ideal or the idea of Trump.
yeah.
No matter what he says or does, they're just blinders
Well,
on.
oh yeah.
Who's that? Who is that? Like, I know you ain't that stupid. Like, you can see some things Trump does are good, but you don't have blinders to that. Every single thing he does is gold.
No. I'm not saying that because I know he's an asshole.
Right.
I know he's an asshole straight
Mhm.
up
That's
because
what
Always has been.
you know what I'm saying. I mean, he always been who he was. You know what I'm saying. But he's somebody that I like because he is who he is. He never changed. He
yeah,
never
yeah.
ever. That's
I
what
dig him as a character. I'm just not so sure he's good at running a country or
I'm just
dealing in foreign policy or shit like that. I mean, he's already
also.
shown a lot of weakness in those areas.
Well, let me tell you what he truly does as with a business. He has people that come to him and he signs off on shit. That's all Trump does. He has people that comes in and give him projections, give him the outlooks and stuff like that. He had always been that way since he started from his father's company, right? He knows a lot. He's smart man, but his ego is what gets him in trouble all the time. So
Mm,
sometimes his ego can outweigh his logic.
yeah.
That's Trump.
Yeah.
That's why
Well,
he's
Veronica McLeod from Charleston, she says, it's not just going to turn out good for anybody. For years, Veronica McLeod has driven hundreds of miles every month, sometimes weekly, to visit her mother in a small town in Carolina. Each round trip costs 200 or is almost 260 miles and it's taken a toll on her Toyota Camry, now 10 years old. And she's worried that Mr. Trump's tariffs would result in her vehicle prices and and higher vehicle prices. And as a retiree on a fixed income, she carefully considered both everyday big ticket purchases. She's been weighing whether to replace her car, and she says, wondering how long before prices go up. I pray my car lasts. I just don't even know if me and my husband can afford it. Well, she's on the other end of the spectrum because you're focusing on this one thing. Like, don't buy a Camry then.
Well, don't buy a car, lease a car. That
And 10 years, like my car's older than 10 years. You'll be all right.
way the maintenance ain't on you. The maintenance is on the company you're leasing from.
Yeah.
And as long as you stick with the leasing company,
Well, if you lease it, yeah.
you can always upgrade it and don't have to worry about the fees after like that.
Never, yeah, exactly. Don't ever buy a brand new car. Don't do it. Lease that bitch. Exactly. Trade it in every year and just pay, because you're paying the payments anyway. And this way, when you're done paying the payments, you don't have a piece of shit that is now a hunk of metal. Like my grandma just like had to tow her Lexus away. Like the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it don't pay to fucking buy a car. A car is not it's not an asset.
And remember, these products that we're buying now are not like the products back when our grandparents had the same type of vehicles.
Right.
These products are made to depreciate and erode.
Yeah, they don't make it like they used to. That's a real fucking thing.
That's a real thing. You know
That's a real thing.
Real. Yeah. Because the cars now, yo, they're done after a 5-year run. Your car's fucked.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's two people. This is the third
my
guy.
man from Breaking Bad.
Nah, he's this is Dave Abdallah, 59 from Dearborn Heights, Michigan. He said it's a good idea to try, referring to the new tariffs against other nations. They were bold, he felt, and he was a fan of daring action. He said, "Why can't we charge them the same thing that they get to them lower? Why can't we charge them with the same thing to get them to either lower theirs or stop a lot of products from being imported to the United States?" He was nervous about potential downsides, rising prices, and economic downturn. Not really, he said, but given how many people in the area worked in the car industry or knew someone he did, he had concerns. He said, "That's not a long-term goal," he said. "Is it foolproof? I don't know. The risk-taking, the bold moves, the scary stuff that he does, to me, it's no surprise." And this guy, he's number, 4 or 5. He says the tough decisions that have to be made, or we're going to be staring at some major economic issues. Perry Hunter. Man, this guy, he's like, we could have universal health care. We could have free universal education after high school. We could feed the poor, but we just don't have the money right now. These are tough decisions that have to be made, or we're going to be staring at some major economic issues in the future. Man, and some people, that's how they think. They really don't understand why we don't have universal health care, free universal education after high school, and why there's homeless people, and why poor people, and why there's poverty.
It's greed. It's
greed.
all greed, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if they wanted to end homelessness and shit, like, they can do that overnight in this country if they truly want it done.
Yeah,
they can do it.
And this is one of these ladies who, she's a Democrat, but she voted for Trump, and now she's saying, "Give us a little more information so we can wrap our head around what it is you're doing," because it don't make sense to a lot of people, man. A lot of people just don't get this shit. She said, "Give us a little more information wrap our head we're doing." She believed that the administration did have a plan, she said, but I want to know when the hell they're going to clue the rest of us in. She was unimpressed by the Democrats' responses, and like a lot of us, I mean, the debates with Kamala, with Biden, it's really hard to vote for them. And, Trump has these cult-like followers. So, it was kind of inevitable. Democrats just did not have any strong candidates this go around. So, hey, that's how the ball bounced. The world doesn't know how to interpret what's going on. This guy has a point. I think the rest of the world is really scared by this. They don't know what it means, and a lot of dangerous people might get scared, and that's not a good thing.
I wanted to say, he had cult-like followers. They were the same people that voted the last time for him, and he lost, right? Supposedly.
Well, yeah, but he got new ones now.
New people he converted. So those new people he converted.
That's what I mean. Those are the ones that couldn't vote for Biden or Kamala because they were ass.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's crazy, man.
And that's how he got in again. That's how he got elected. Now, I was, hey, it's a whole conversation I don't want to get into because we're about to wrap it up. But
Yeah.
basically, it is what it is. A lot of people, have varying opinions on the matter because at this point in time, it's too early to tell, I think, to really understand what exactly this is going to mean for everybody and what exactly we're all going to go through based on it. So we have to wait and see. We have to, let it play out and do what it does. But in the meantime, we'll be bringing you that good comic and toy news every Wednesday and every Saturday at 7 p.m. It's late as fuck. We've been on rocking about 3.5 hours.
Mhm.
Just chopping it up. But yeah, man, catch us, guys. If you're still hanging out, hit that like button, subscribe, rewind that tape, watch it again if you came in late. And we'll see you guys. What is it? We'll see you Wednesday.
Can I give a shout out real quick if you don't mind?
Absolutely.
2 rest in peace shout outs. Rest in hip hop to Pow Wow of the Soul Sonic Force.
Word.
Rest in hip hop to Gemini, the gifted one.
Yes.
Word.
Functional sensation. Yes, indeed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Val Kilmer, man. That's
A lot of people, man.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Rest in power. We'll see y'all Wednesday. Peace.
Peace.
Yes.